What is up, my dudes? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show that is America. The insane show that is America right now. Oh my God. How do you fit all of the craziness that happens in America every day on a show? I don't know if it's possible. I'm not sure that it's possible. It's absolutely insane. All right, let's see who's here. Let's go. Alan, what's up, Alan? What's up, Woke Mike? Ken Daxter, watching peacefully from northern Norway. I'm coming to Norway, Ken. I hope you have an extra room. I'm heading over. What's happening, Sean? What's going on, Art? What's going on, Christina? What's going on, Don Cron? What's going on, Gulf Marine? Natalie, what's happening? Pinkerbell, what's going on? Fan in the house, what's happening, Fan? I think I got everybody. Welcome to the shit show. Oh, man. Oh, are we in war with Panama yet? Hello from Central Florida. Is it snowing? Is it currently snowing in Central Florida right now? Because it's wacky town. It's wacky town. Can I play the first part again? You guys want to hear the beginning of the show again? Yeah, I'll play it one more time. You guys ready for this? What's happening, Dan? I'm gonna play it one more time because Woke Mike would like to watch it. So we're gonna play it one more time. Here, I'll give you this song. Let's see. Let's give you this song. So that's Ren. R-E-N. And it's Money Game Part 2. I have talked to Ren's manager, who says I can use the song. It does interfere with the monetization of my videos. Just so you guys know, I don't make any money off these videos nowadays because I do use this song. But this is the song. It's called Ren Money Game Part 2. Ren's got lots of dope music. I was just actually interacting with Ren on the interwebs today on X. That is the song right there. Ren is super duper dope. Ren does all kinds of music too. Ren does not just make hip hop. Ren also plays guitar, sings. Let's see if we can play a little snippet here. This is one of my favorite songs. I gotta be careful because I can get the stream turned off by playing music and stuff. So this is called The Big Push. This is the group that he's a part of. This is one of my favorite songs from them. Yeah, Ren. Yeah.
Nobody to leave.
I was talking to him a little bit today about society and politics a little bit.
My whole body to bleed. Yes, I know now. Yes, I know. Show me how to breathe, 'cause I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know. Better, better pieces. Better, better all of me. Better, better scatter everywhere I go. I've come to realize that I need to hold on tight to my dignity, 'cause I lost all of my self-esteem a long time ago.
Such a good song. Yeah, is he British? Yeah, he's from the UK. Really dope dude. For those people that don't know, he got famous. Well, he got famous from something else, but I'm sure. But a lot of people know him from High Ren, the song High Ren. But he does that. He does the song that you just heard on the beginning, Money Game. He does lots of hip hop music. I'm a big hip hop fan, obviously. So he does a couple different types. That's Rin right there.
These kids don't play my shit, I never had a top 10. Maybe it's cause I sing about violence and depression. They say don't blame these kids, just focus on yourself, friend. Well, if they don't like what I'm doing now, then fuck them. Don't trip,
Yeah, he's my dude. He's my dude. Really enjoy some Rin. And like I said, I reached out and finally got a hold of his manager. His manager said, yeah, I could use the song for the beginning of the show. Rin, not a super political person, but a person just that believes in just people taking care of each other. Here, I'll read you a bit of the interaction that I had with Rin on X. The only reason I'm still on X at all. There's certain people, Pastor Benjamin, is still on X. I do not post on X anymore. I still interact with a couple people that I really enjoy, and Rin is one of them. So let's talk about a little bit about what he says here. Because this is really a good, we have a problem right now. We have a real big problem right now, and that is disenfranchised people that generally would be, let's see, in some way connected to the left, the Democrats and stuff, are very, very disenchanted with the left wing of the party, and unfortunately, we've seen many of them kind of brought into the fold of MAGA Republicans under the guise of making America healthy again and stuff like that. And so recently it's been very difficult for me to speak to certain people that really are actually really good people innately, but they feel disenfranchised from the left. And, when they feel homeless, they make their way into the arms of corrupt individuals that take advantage of them. And so, I've really been trying really hard to be very patient with people and speak to people about the things that I think that they're incorrect about, but that's a really difficult thing to do because people don't like to be told they're incorrect. I'm not the best vehicle for that to be done. I understand that. But anyways, Rin, not a very political person, also not an American, constantly kind of talks about wanting to just make things better for people. And I really do think that legitimately a lot of the things that he believes are very fundamentally left-wing things. Equal rights for everybody, taking care of your LGBT community, not allowing billionaires to just rule the world, things like that. So we'll read a little bit about his tweet here. Benny Loco with $5. Benny Loco, thank you so much. Famous is a disease, and anyone seeking fame suffers from it. It breeds fantastics and cults. There's so much about fame. We could Benny, my good friend Benny, thank you so much for the $5, and that is spot on. So spot on, my friend. It really is. It's like I said, I watched the Avicii documentary the other day. You guys should watch that, Avicii, even if you're not into house music and stuff. I wasn't into house music. I'm not a big house music person. But I watched it because this is about a young man that took his own life after gaining all the fame, incredible amounts of fame. I think he made something like $50 million in like 2 years or something like that. But I think one of the most important lessons that you can learn from that documentary is that sometimes with these people, you have to recognize who they are as human beings, and that's hard to do because there's a facade. And with Avicii, the documentary is called Tim because his name is Tim, and he's a person. And as he rose to fame, he began to have these real issues with being out in front of everybody. And one of the people in it, I think is a guy from Coldplay, maybe it's somebody else. Oh, Fan, 20 memberships, Fan. God damn, sir. Thank you so much, Fan. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. But Avicii talks about this celebrity. I forgot who it was. Maybe it wasn't the Coldplay guy. He goes, one of the things with Tim was he wanted to be Tim. He wanted to talk to people. He wanted to be himself. He wanted to try to like make his art, have people enjoy it, and still be himself. And one of the things that you learn about celebrity is, like, if you don't disconnect your personality from your persona, like who you are innately from your persona, then it's really, really difficult to exist in that, because a lot of art that you put out, even the stupid shit that I put out, like I put my effort into it, right? Like I want people to enjoy it. It's not made for my ego. It's made because I genuinely want to share something with people. And I think that's part of what led to him taking his own life, was he didn't get to go up there and be him. People wanted this different person. And that's why there's a big difference between people that seek power and people that feel that power is a heavy mantle that bears the extreme weight of responsibility. And so what Benny said there is spot on. If you're seeking celebrity, if you're seeking fame, if you're seeking fortune, generally that's not a great thing. But if you're seeking to make the world a better place, to reach people, to make a difference, to be positive, then unfortunately, not a lot of people respond to it. It's really hard to keep people's attention. Like, people will respond to it like immediately when they find it, but then it kind of falls off because people want Jerry Springer. People want WWE. People want facades. One of the first things I learned about YouTube when I got on here was my good friend Angela Knight was like, you have to understand, like, these people aren't the same people on YouTube that they are in real life. Because I was like, this one dude made me want to smack him in the mouth that had talked to her in a way that I disliked. And I was like, dude, if I saw that dude, like, you don't talk to my friends like that, you know, like. And she was like, oh, like, behind the scenes, like, he doesn't talk like that. And I'm like, well, that's not what matters. What matters, like what matters is being the same person consistently, always being the same person, always living your values. And she was like, no, like, behind the scenes, him and his wife, like, they talk differently. They're like way nicer. They're like, but when they get on YouTube, they have this like really aggressive, confrontational, like, way of like doing their thing, because that's what gets clicks and views, and that's what makes them famous. So that's a very good. That was a great super chat, Benny, because that really speaks to humanity. It really does. So let's talk a little bit about this quote from Ren. This is something I responded to on X, and I wasn't actually going to cover this, but you know what? Let's do this. Oh, you like Ren, Soul? Soul, have you watched his like mini documentary on mini docu-series? There's a docu-series. Maybe we'll watch it sometime. It's actually really dope. It's a bunch of like 5 and 6 minute long videos talking about his life and his struggles with health and stuff. So this says, steps to diminishing empathy for your fellow human. Placing blame for economic social disparity on anyone from outside your designated circle, political opponents, or other members of the working class without understanding how much money is ingested into private corporate monopolies and how much is diverted away from the benefit of humanity in industries such as pharmaceutical, military, housing, etc. And this is something that I actually thought, in my own stupidity, my own naivete. Is that how you say it? Naivete. Gotta church it up a little bit, right? Was that I thought that this was something we all agreed on. I thought that we understood medicine is good. People taking advantage of people that need medicine is bad. Militaries defending the country and our way of life are good, but militaries going outside of the U.S. and expansion and imperialism is bad. Like, housing is good. And America and the American dream and owning a home is great. BlackRock buying up swaths of homes is bad. I thought we all agreed on these things. And this is what Ren is saying here is, you shouldn't blame the people that are working alongside of you at fucking McDonald's. What you should be blaming is these ultra wealthy corporations, these billionaires, these people that use their money, influence, status, and connections to create legislation and get themselves jobs within like the highest tiers of government. Like, that's the problem. And Donald Trump embodies all of that. He is like, it's like if you asked AI to create something, a person that embodies like the worst values of being what Benny Loco just talked about, a fame seeker, a celebrity seeker, a wealth hoarder, an oppressive force that wants to keep people stuck at the bottom of the ladder, in the bucket of crabs, while he stands at the rim and kicks you back down if you ever get out. It would be Donald Trump. It's just insane. So anyways, it goes on and it says, moral justification of injustice, framing systemic oppression, economic disparity, or exploitation as either natural, necessary, or even virtuous in the name of progress, security, or tradition, urging the working class to make sacrifices necessary for the greater good, all while those in power seem to get richer as the nation goes through periods of immense struggle. It's like he's speaking directly to us, guys, because that's literally what it is. It's the Republicans pull yourself up by the bootstraps. What's happening, TOG? What's going on? It's Republicans pull yourself up by the bootstraps, right? And I was just saying, like, we're almost like in some way pining for the traditional conservative now that the MAGA Republican has become, the flavor of the day. Fan, $5. The military gets $1 trillion per year. 60% of it has been unaccounted for each year for the last decade. That's $6 trillion that disappeared. What I'll say about that is the audit thing doesn't concern me as much as just the complete lack of understanding of a $1 trillion budget going to the military-industrial complex whilst people in America can't ask for $1,000 in UBI. That's what concerns me. The audit thing, I understand your concern with that, but I also understand that, like, at least a part of it is that, like, you can't completely show everything that the military has on hand at all times to others, right? To other countries, to competitors and such. That's not an excuse, by the way. I'm not excusing it. I'm saying, like, in some way, it's less important to me than just the fact that the military spends 3 times the amount that China does. What's China's population? Is China's population 1 billion? It's double ours, right? It's almost 1 billion, or is it a little bit over 1 billion? I could Google this, right? What concerns me is that we down here asked for $1,000 in UBI. $1,000 in UBI would allow me to take 1 extra day off, like every 2 weeks, right? Like I could work 2 5-day-a-week schedules and 2 4-day-a-week schedules. Spend more time with my family, spend more time doing my hobby, spend more time hanging out with you guys and doing stuff here. Oh, Jesus. TOG, I am sorry to hear that. My condolences, my friend. I hope you're doing okay. I am sorry to hear that. 1.3 billion, 1.5 billion. So yeah, so triple, right? Triple what we have. Triple what we have in population, and we spend triple what they spend on our military. Meanwhile, people down below can't get $1,000 in UBI. My whole family is military. I understand the necessity of having a strong military. I understand that this isn't a perfect world where people will leave you alone if you just lay down your guns. And if we were spending that much money on the military and we were taking care of our citizenry, you probably wouldn't hear so much about it from me. I would probably say things along the lines of, well, we have to be able to defend ourselves. We always got to be at the cutting edge of technology. The world's always progressing and moving forward. There's always bad actors. There's always, the globe is a global competition, all those things. You'd probably hear me saying those things. But when you are absent the citizens of this country being taken care of, and instead you're dividing and creating what is potentially almost a civil war type of atmosphere amongst the populace while spending that much money on the military, that's a fucking problem. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's for me. You know how many people you can save with that kind of money? Yeah. Like, can help with that kind of money? Yeah, exactly, Sean. Exactly. And like I said, like, look, man, I want to talk to people, and I want to speak to people within MAGA and say, don't you see? Don't you see? You said you're against war. They just bomb people in Somalia to get ISIS. You said you were against the New World Order, and Donald Trump is talking about invading Panama and Mexico and making Canada. Like, you can only say for so long that these are hyperbolic statements when he continues to take these steps to actually make them reality, right? Like, you can say all you want, oh, well, the Panama Canal, he's not going to actually invade Panama. He's putting pressure on them. He just wants them to stop letting China use it the way they have because we're being taken advantage of. You can say that as much as you want. But the other day, was it the president of Panama or the ex-president of Panama came out and said, he said, if America invades us, there will be massive casualties on our side. Think about that for a second. Think about, in your mind, picture the military might of America being used to attack Panama. A place that has zero issues with it. A place that allows you to retire there as an American for pennies on the dollar. Panama is one of the best places that you can retire because your money goes so far and they have so little restrictions on America. And they're not talking about if you invade us, you're going to fuck around and find out. They're talking about if you invade us, you're going to kill a lot of our people. That's insane to think. That the same people that claimed they were against imperialism, that claimed that they were against warmongering, that Cenk Uygur of the fucking TYT that we're going to watch a video in a minute about, claims, I'm just going to show them how hypocritical they are, and then they're going to realize it, and they're going to leave Trump. If they don't leave Trump when Trump is talking about invading a country that has no chance against America's might, that has done nothing to us, it's a cult. They're not leaving, dog. They're pot committed. They're elbow deep in his rectum. They're tickling his polyps and fucking checking out the prostate. They don't care. They just didn't like it when they thought it was the Democrats. They love it when they think it's Trump. They think invading Mexico is great. Like, these people didn't learn anything from fucking Vietnam. Those cartels, I don't know if you guys have ever looked at the information on, like, where the cartels are. Those cartels are very fucking well equipped. Panama might not be able to defend itself, but those cartels are going to be fighting in their own country, in their own region, with a populace, just like in Vietnam. By the way, my grandfather was a Montagnard, all right? He worked with the Montagnard people. He was one of the people that went behind enemy lines and worked with the Montagnards, which were the Vietnamese, the section of the Vietnamese that were working with Americans to fight back. You can't, if you fight in a place like Vietnam, if you fight in a place like Mexico, those citizens don't help you. That's how you end up with children with fucking, devices strapped to their chest, taking out legions of soldiers. We don't need that. There's no fucking, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. We don't need it. We don't need Mexico. We don't need Canada. Like, I even understand, like, the relevancy of Greenland to America. Thank you, Bandit. Thank you for the 5 sorry, I can't talk right now. The 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Bandit. I appreciate that. We don't need them. But like I said, like, I understand Greenland, right? I get that China and Russia, their influence is important in those regions. It is important for democracy to push back against that influence. But you don't push back against that kind of influence by calling the leader of Denmark and screaming at them and telling them that you'll just take Denmark. That's Hitler shit, dog. That's Hitler shit. You don't do that. NATO is attempting to address that situation by saying, hey, how about we bring Denmark and other countries like that into the fold? Let's protect them. Let's offer them our defense so that way they don't have to worry about Russia or China. Why don't we do that instead? But Trump hates NATO. Trump doesn't want to use NATO. Trump wants to instead be an imperialist and go across the fucking the ocean to fucking take over Greenland because he's a moron. I keep saying this. Everybody has said he's like this malicious, felonious, crazy fucking person. Like he's Hitler. He's not even smart enough to be fucking Hitler. He's dumb. He's a moron. He does stupid shit. And I'll tell you this. Your stupid friends will get you in more trouble than your evil friends. Your asshole friends that like to start fights. The fucking people that get drunk and jump in a car and fucking drive 120 miles an hour down the highway. Those are the fucking people that cause the most damage. Fucking just leave it alone, dog. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I see you guys talking. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. I do. Thank you for listening to me. Yeah, exactly what Mana Tomorrow just fucking said. Against big government, but want to invade Mexico. Against imperialism, but want to invade Mexico. Against war, want to invade Mexico. It's fucking insane. What's happening, Gamer James? Hey, man, thank you for being on Twitch over there. I try not to forget about you guys over there on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for being there. When you demonize immigrants, you aren't just an unempathetic asshole. You're also a pathetic, useful idiot for the economic elites who keep wrecking the economy, robbing us all blind. Exactly, gamer. Fucking exactly. And when people say things like, oh, you guys on the left, you guys are just hyperbolic. Trump doesn't, cause any of these problems. Elon doing that salute. No one sees that as being Nazi stuff. And then you see, what was I just put out that video the other day from Bryce Mitchell, the UFC fighter, where he said Hitler was a good guy and he'd go fishing with him. That's what the fuck you get when you have a dude on stage at your inauguration throwing up a Heil Hitler. I don't give a fuck. You can give him the best faith excuses in the fucking world. You can be like, he's autistic. He didn't know what he was doing. He accidentally did it. It was a Roman salute. Whatever your bullshit excuse is. You still can't deny the effect that it has. So if I go on stage and I'm a comedian, and I got lots of gay friends. And I make gay jokes. And then the next thing I know, people are circulating my material within a homophobic community going, isn't this guy based? Fuck, the things he say are amazing. Everything he's saying about gay people is true. It doesn't matter what I meant. And by the way, I've got my own opinion of that shit. But it doesn't matter what I intended. It's the effect of what it does. And when you have right-wing nationalists sharing the video of Elon Musk doing that and saying things like, that's dope, he's one of us, check it out. You have very unintelligent people on a very basic fucking level, a basic mentality that don't fucking know anything about nothing going, holy shit, Elon believes what I believe. So even if you want to be the best faith about it, look at Dave Chappelle. Play your short? Okay, I'll post it. I'll watch it, yeah. Sorry, Fan, thank you. Thank you, Fan, for the $20. Thank you for the $20. It's the military contractors and the corrupt officials who oversee the contracts that made that 60% disappear. It's the law that they have to disclose their budget, and classified stuff is just marked discretionary funds. Thank you for that, Fan. I will educate myself further upon that. Thank you so much. And none of that sounds incorrect at all, but I will educate myself further upon that. Thank you so much. That is well said, my friend. Well said. Yeah, you know, like it's. I was gonna say this, and he's one of my favorite dudes, Dave Chappelle. Like, he went off the rails after the transgender stuff, and like, you lost him. We lost him. But one of the things he made a really good point of, and this is crazy because of how conflictual these two things are going to be. One of the things that he made a great point of was that during the second season of the Chappelle Show, he did the Clayton Bigsby, the black white supremacist skit. And he said when he had left, Comedy Central and stopped doing the show, there's lots of reasons why he said he left. But one of the reasons that he said he left was because he said, I had people coming up to me at Disneyland and being like, yo, F those N-words. And he'd go, what the fuck? And they're like, Clayton Bigsby. Yeah, N-word. And he was like, I think you guys missed the point. Like, no. No. And he was like, I had to stop. And was that episode 1? No shit. No doubt. That's crazy. Hold on, Benny. Keep reminding me, but I got to get through the Rin stuff first, and then we'll play it, okay? But, like, he actually hit the nail on the head with that. He said, you got to be careful what you put out there, because people will take it up and run with it, and they'll get something from it that maybe you didn't think they would. And then, unfortunately, he went down the route. And, like, I'll be honest with you guys. The first time he did a bit on transgenders, it was actually really heartwarming because he was talking about his relationship with his friend that was transgender. And I was like, all right, good job, man. Like, way to fight the criticism by providing positive examples of who you are as a person. But then he let the criticisms get more and more to him, and then eventually he just went off the rails, unfortunately. And now it's hard to watch some of that shit. Actually, I don't watch it all. I haven't watched any of his in a long time. But the point was well taken, the original point. Like Gamer said there, when you demonize immigrants, you can't, there's not going to be any difference between the woman that is here legally, or even legally, even legally, the brown person that is here legally versus the person that came across the border and has committed atrocious crimes. You've blurred that line too much now. That's why you have indigenous people being rounded up. That's why you have people being speaking Spanish being detained and talked to, being made to show their ID as everyday average citizens. Like, if you don't get it, for the people out there that don't get this about the rounding up the immigrants, let me explain this. If you start by rounding up the criminals, And then you say to yourself, yeah, some good people are going to get caught up in that, but hey, they were undocumented anyways, so they shouldn't have been here either. So, okay, so you've already made the first step onto the slippery slope. You've now decided for yourself, getting the criminals out of the country is okay. It's really important, and if we lose a couple people that were good people as well, that's still okay. The next question you have to ask yourself is one that Donald Trump is already asking, and that is, why can't we also get rid of the criminals that are here legally? This is something that Trump, he brought up. He said, I would like to look into doing that. So he said, we have people that have committed crimes 30, 40, 50 times. Those people shouldn't be in America either. We should send them to other countries because that's what countries are doing to us. If you don't believe me, you can research anything I fucking say. I have no problem with you coming back and telling me I'm wrong. So you say to yourself, well, do you want people that have been here committing 30, 40, 50 crimes? You say, no, I don't want those people. My kids aren't safe. My wife isn't safe. I'm not safe. You've taken another step onto that slippery slope. So now you're deporting people that are here legally. You're deporting people here that are illegal here or undocumented that have committed crimes. And you're also deporting people that are undocumented that haven't done anything because that's acceptable. Well, the next step in that equation is that you start deporting other Americans on accident. Oh, he just got caught up in the system. We thought he was this guy. Ask an African American what it's like to be told you look like somebody that's suspected of committing a crime. If you don't know what it feels like, and I grew up with a bunch of black dudes, so I can tell you this shit is true. I've seen it happen. I grew up in a fucked up place. I've watched the cops roust people up that didn't do anything because they looked like somebody. If you don't think that shit can happen, ask your fellow African Americans what that shit is like. That's next. Next it's, hey, at least we're getting rid of all the rapists and the murderers and the serial killers. We're sending them all to Guatemala now, dog. Like, it's becoming a better place. And hey, yeah, every once in a while, an American citizen gets sent out. No doubt, but it's worth it. Well, the next step on that fucking slippery slope is when they start deciding that they need to deport you before you start committing the crimes. So then they start looking at your history. And they're like, well, this guy comes from a family who committed felonies. And what's next after that? Well, it turns out that most people that commit crime are the impoverished people in our communities. So we should just deport them now. Got to nip it in the bud before it happens. That's the slippery slope of demonizing immigrants. And that's just one of them. It's a virtual fucking water park of slippery slopes. That's just one of them. Benny Loco, I'm going to get to your shit. Let's do it. Happened to you when you were a cop. Man of tomorrow. God damn it. That's the shit right there, right, dude? Like, you seen that video? There's that video of that FBI guy, and he's off duty or whatever, but he's got his badge in his back pocket, and those two cops come up to him and start fucking with him, and he's like, do you really want to do this? Do you really want to do this? And they're like, look, sir, you better get up and you better show us your ID. He's like, I know I don't have to show him my ID. I actually don't need to. And they're like, you better show it to him. He's like, you know what? Go ahead. Reach in my back pocket. And they pull it out, and it's this fucking FBI badge. Jesus Christ. Let's bring Benny up. You said it's a short, Benny? You got members content, Benny? Is it this one? Is it this one, Benny? Or do you have these in order? Try not to accidentally report you. Let's see. Benny, you got to get on my Discord and just send me stuff. Yeah, Nina, I'm a black female. I've been arrested for looking like someone until they fingerprinted you. Jesus Christ, dude. The Gulf of America, Pete. Jesus Christ. These people are so simple. They love fucking the simplest, dumbest shit. We're gonna watch it anyway.
That looked like somebody who eats not too shit. I don't fucking think so. That looked like somebody who eats not too shit. I don't fucking think so.
Is that the one, Vinny? Vinny, we gotta measure biceps. We gotta see which one of us got bigger guns, Vinny. But I gotta hit the bench again. I gotta hit the bench again. I'm afraid my winter body does not stand up to Benny logos. Okay, I'm not sure. At this point right now, at the end of January, Benny, I would be concerned about measuring mine versus yours. we gonna have to wait until the summer when I'm back on the weights. Oh, that was amazing, Vinny. That was amazing. All right, maybe I won't read all this here. I'll put it in here. I don't want I'd rather you guys don't go to fucking X. Here you go. Here we go. I think I'm gonna pull a dude, right? I think I was 17 last time, Benny. So that means I'm like 13 and a half, right? Since I'm a dude. Add 2 inches to the curve. So that right there, winter shrinkage. So that right there. Oh, Kelly, the Trudeau's gonna speak about the tariffs. Fuck. Like I said, it's so hard. America is hard to keep up with, man. I feel like I have ADHD just trying to talk about all the goddamn things that happen in America. Yeah, Trudeau's supposed to talk about the tariffs. So that's Rin. If you do have an X account still like to go on there every once in a while. Anyways, go on there, check out this. It's great. Nothing he says here is incorrect. You know, some of it may engender debate. It might, you know, like I might not agree on the smaller parts, but fundamentally there's nothing wrong with anything he says. And if you go through his comments here, go through his comments here, you'll see people that like call him out for being like, here you go, I love Rin the artist, not necessarily a fan of Rin the Gnostic. And it's like, the man is actually like, he's appealing to you. He's saying like it's like when that bishop said, just have empathy, and people were like, bro, no empathy. And it was like, that's the weirdest response. Anyways, this is what I said to him. Very well said. All these topics deserve nuance. However, you use too many words. Culture has become immune to explanation. It's 3 short grunts or you have lost their attention. Keep spreading these ideas far and wide. The world needs more Rins. People need more recognition of nuance and complexity. And I mean that shit. I don't say shit to get likes. Obviously. Self-depreciating humor is my favorite, okay? I don't say things to get likes. I say things because I think they're true. I say things that potentially will make people dislike me. I say things to friends that will potentially make them no longer want to be my friend, but I say them because I honestly believe them and want people to truly embrace honest truth and take care of each other. And Rin here responded with grunt, grunt, grunt. To which I said, yeah, it's like the I am Groot for the uneducated and overstimulated. And then we had some good conversation with a couple other people here where I talk about memes and TikToks being how people are educated. That's a pretty good gif right there. That's a pretty good gif. All right. I think I've been talking forever now. I talk so much. Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know the tariffs, Trump has instituted 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. 10% tariffs on China on top of the tariffs that pre-existed from Biden's administration, and also on import fees and taxes. Things are going to go up. If you want any idea of what a 25% tariff looks like, well, you actually have a historical precedent. Look at over the last 5 years after COVID, from 2019 to 2024, prices in groceries for the most part have went up by about 25% on average. 25%, and that's not even taking into account shrinkflation, okay? So if you want any idea as to what the tariffs could do to America, like literally it could take the last 5 years of 25% worth of inflation, and that shit could be happening on Monday. And that's on top of the 25% of inflation. Now, that's not if you don't have corporations that are price gouging people. Because once again, you're going to have this mentality within the grocery industry, within certain retail industries. Oh, these people have a really negative outlook on this administration and the way that they've handled this. So they're going to believe it's not our fault that we're increasing prices, but instead the administration's fault, which it is the administration's fault. But they're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to increase prices even more. It's like I said before, I can tell you what the cost of eggs are right now. The cost of eggs is not $6, $7. The cost of eggs on a conventional egg should still be costing your grocery store, your big brand grocery store, should still only be paying in the area of $2 to $3 in cost for their dozen of eggs. So if you're buying $9 eggs from whatever, Albertsons, Kroger's, Save Mart, whatever you're buying them from, if you're paying $9 for those eggs, they're price gouging you. They're fucking price gouging you. There's no way me at my mid-sized store pays more money for eggs than big, gigantic fucking chains. That's not even a fucking possibility. And I can tell you that these people are going to take even further advantage of inflation if it goes up because of tariffs. So it's not just the tariffs, it's also going to be price gouging. Like, people should be pissed, legitimately upset about this stuff. Legitimately upset about this stuff. You should be talking about it. You should be telling people this is bullshit. Because you know who's not affected by this? Ultra wealthy billionaires. You know who's not affected by this? People like Elon Musk, Mark Andreessen, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. You know who they're friends with? Donald Trump. The guy who has it within his power. This isn't inflation due to COVID. This isn't inflation due to a global pandemic. We were on the right path to bringing inflation back down to 2%, which is the fucking sweet spot for all the MAGA morons out there that are like, 0% inflation. If you have 0% inflation, you fucking morons, you have a recession. Like, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. 0% inflation. No, that's bad too, you morons. 2%. We want to be around 2%. We want the fucking Fed to reduce interest rates. We were on the right path, and because Donald Trump's ego wouldn't let him fucking walk into a goddamn economy that was on the verge of going back to normal and just letting it happen, his own ego won't let him do that. And instead he's like, I have to be the man. I have to impose these tariffs. He said, and this is true, between 1870 and 1913, America experienced the greatest economic growth that it has ever experienced in its entire history. That is true. It's 100% true. Anybody want to guess what happened between 1870 and 1913 to make that happen? It wasn't just tariffs. And if you are attempting to parallel 1870 through 1913 to 2025, I've got some severe problems with your logic when it comes to paralleling those two things. But we have the prime example of why 1870 to 1913 is not the only example of tariffs, and that is 1929 and 1930, when the Smoot-Hawley Act, which was originally called the 1930 Tariffs Act, was instituted and helped to worsen the recession. Not to mention, it potentially led to World War II. Germany was one of the people that were hit the hardest by our tariffs while we were sanctioning them. So we were making them pay restitution for World War I, and then we tariffed them on top of that. I've spoken before about why people in impoverished communities commit crimes. Why, like, it's mind-blowing for people that aren't impoverished to understand why somebody, when they're backed into a corner and they have nothing, commit crimes. That is no excuse for World War II. But it definitely didn't help stop it. It's a bad idea. You've got Amazon, Kroger, and Walmart that control 90%. Yeah, exactly. And here you go. Oh, God. Like I said, it's ADHD. I can't stay on one subject because America has so many fucking things going on right now. But they're all connected. What Fan just said about 90% of the grocery world being owned by the largest corporations. So Lena Khan, who was a part of Biden's administration and I believe also a part of Trump, the end of Trump's administration. Lena Khan went to bat for American people. Lena Khan sued Google, Amazon, Meta. Does this sound familiar as to a reason why these people are now Donald Trump's friend? Okay. She sued Google, Amazon, Meta, Kroger's and Albertsons. She won lawsuits against Google and Meta. I don't know I think the Amazon one is still going. And she stopped the merger of Kroger's and Albertsons, which would have allowed them to own something like 12 to 13% of the entire grocery market. Lena Khan went to bat for you. And Lena Khan was fired by this administration. Who is this administration going after today? PBS and NPR. That's who they're going after. Not Kroger's and Albertsons. If Kroger's and Albertsons, if that deal had not been fought against by Lena Khan and had found its way into the Trump administration, it would have went through. But let's fuck with Sesame Street. Let's fuck with Sesame Street. Jesus Christ. People are stupid. I can't. People are so stupid. I can't. They're like, we got Trump and he's gonna save America. Motherfucker, they fired Lena Khan. Do you know how fucking hard it is in this country to get a person into office, into a position in the government where they will actually fight for American people? We finally fucking did it. And you fucks were like, you know what? Let's put Trump in so he can go after NPR and PBS. You know the things I want to say right now? I would get fucking banned from YouTube if I said the shit I want to say right now about the people that helped get Lena Khan taken out and Donald Trump and his fucking cronies put into office. Holy fuck right now. It's fucking insane. I can't believe these people. I just, there's got to be something in the water. The IQs are dipping. I'm about to become a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we checked on that fluoride thing. I actually don't believe that. Fucking guys, okay? But still, something's fucking wrong here. Do you think that Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street might actually be trans lesbians? Wasn't the joke always that Bert and Ernie were a gay couple? Like, I'm okay with that. I don't care. I don't care what people do with their own lives, man. You should be gay if you want to be gay. You should be lesbian if you want to. If you feel like you're in the wrong body and you're a trans person, I fucking support you. Just don't be an asshole. Like, don't be a dick. Like, fucking, if you're a person here and you're undocumented and you're working hard, you're fucking contributing into the tax system you don't even get to take fucking advantage of, I support you. I don't care. It's just, like, It's insane that we've created these boogeymen that literally don't fucking exist about people that do exist that are just trying to live their goddamn lives and be left alone. Did you guys see that one? Did you guys see the girl on Twitter that said she's a transgender woman that was a pilot in Iraq, I think, and even has like medals of honor for heroism? And when that shit happened with the helicopter and the plane, people started saying it was her. Like, it's because transgenders were flying the helicopters. Like, it's like, you... Like I said, I can't say these things. I can't say these things on YouTube. But I'm like, something I believe should happen to that person. Not the transgender person. The person that tweeted that shit out. Let's just say, if I saw a news story, I'd be like, you kind of deserved it. All right? I'm not saying anybody should do that shit, first of all. Okay? I'm just saying, if Jesus, you up there, brother? You hear what I'm saying? All right? Fuck. I'm writing lines tonight. I'm going to get in trouble. I already posted that fucking Bryce Mitchell video. I'm surprised I'm here today. Guys. Bloodstone by Stars. I've been going down the conspiracy route. I think they are going to create further divide to then bring out war on while we are fighting each other. The aliens take over. I would like to say that you're wrong. I can't anymore. I was just saying to my wife today, I was like, God damn it, man. Like, when you hear about Elon Musk fucking walking around sticking thumb drives in shit in the U.S. Treasury, like, if you guys would have told me that, like 2 years ago, if you would have said, I heard that, like, Elon Musk is all up in the U.S. Treasury right now putting thumb drives in computers he's not supposed to be, I would be like, you guys are crazy. Like, I know the dude's an asshole, but that's probably not happening. And I look that shit up nowadays, and I'm like, that shit's happening. It's actually... We have broken reality. That they might be aliens. At least serpent people, right? Like, I'm going possibly serpent people or Lemurians, possibly. Pinkerbell says, I met a trans veteran at the post office who is having to re-verify all her ID documents for the VA. She's disabled, wheelchair-bound, and her daughter are very scared about what comes next. And I wish that I could say that you shouldn't be scared. That's what I'm generally here for. I'm usually here to be the guy that's like, guys, shit's bad, but it's okay. We're going to have a laugh. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some shit. And if somebody gets too close, we're going to push them down. That's it. We wouldn't do anything more than that. I swear to God. I'm usually that guy, but I'm like legit, like watching the shit that's happening in America today and going, what the fuck are they doing? Like, I shit you not. I was in my 20s. Let's see. Yeah, I was in my 20s when Bush was in office. And I was against the Iraq war. And I said the WMD shit was probably bullshit. I called all that shit. And that was mostly because I was a little bit of a conspiracy person myself back then. But I can look back at those days and go like, I didn't like the shit Bush was doing. And I definitely didn't agree with the Iraq war. But I didn't spend every day going, what are we doing today? This is a level of chaos and insanity in America that I have never experienced. And I come from the worst fucking places in fucking the United States of America. I come from a place where I didn't know if somebody was going to literally break into my house, tie me up, and steal all my shit. That happened to my neighbor, by the way. That lady got her Nintendo stolen and her weed. Literally laid on a couch outside while the ghetto copter was flying over the top. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Then the fucking car drove away and I was like, oh, Kathy. Kathy got robbed. I live in a crazy fucking place and that doesn't compare to what the fuck is going on today. I had fucking lack of fucking air conditioning, heating, proper plumbing. Fucking literally took a bath in a hose, cold water fucking before school, sponge bath myself. Like, that was more stable than this administration. That's fucking insane. Anyways, okay. Fan says, just think only 20% of the population self-identifies as LGBT. I can't say all that. That's like 10. We gotta shorten it back to LGBT, guys, just to help me out. Okay, I'm from the trailer park. That's like 10% bisexual, 4% gay and lesbian, and like 1% of each of everything else. It's a fringe topic. It's bullshit. Exactly. Just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. Just let them fucking live. If they commit crimes, put them in jail or fucking rehab. I prefer rehab for most criminals. Just leave them the fuck alone. I don't care if you're brown, you're black, you're white, you're female, you're male, you're non-binary, you're transgender, you're gay, you're heterosexual, you're religious, you're not religious. Like, I don't give a shit about any of those things. Just don't be an asshole. Don't hurt other people. And if you do, then whatever the punishment is for whatever you did, as long as it's appropriate, I support. Okay? That's it. It's fucking that simple. I know Titus put out a new one, but we watched Titus like last week, so I thought we'd watch this. You guys ever watch The Vanguard? You guys, I know most of you guys probably watch the Vanguard. Yeah, LGBTQ is just another shiny object. Exactly. It's fucking insane. It's insane. So I'm sure most of you guys watch The Vanguard. I like these guys. They're pretty funny. They're more my style. It feels good. It feels good to finally kind of feel like I'm not the only person like this on YouTube. Guys, I've talked about this before. I have complete imposter syndrome being on YouTube. I'm a trailer park kid. Being anywhere and having anybody listening to my bullshit gives me the most imposter of imposter syndromes. So seeing The Vanguard, these guys make me happy.
Guys, if
I don't know if I belong here anymore. Like, I'm going to just keep it real, Jenk. I don't know if I belong anymore. I don't. Because people want propaganda. They do. They want.
What? She is propaganda. Hold on. Dude, starting off fast. Did you guys see the Francesca video where Francesca called out Cenk for saying on her interview with him, she said, you know, I have family that, I think she has family that's Chinese and he has family that are Muslim. And she was like, you don't think that they'll round people up? And he was like, they're not gonna do that. Like, you're saying that like they're gonna round us up. Like, do you understand how crazy that sounds? And now, of course, Donald Trump is attempting to get Guantanamo Bay opened up so that way he can house 30,000 migrants in the deportation process. And she shared that. And I was like, that's pretty legit. And then Cenk and Anna here came on their show. And Jake said, it's just very dishonest the way that she made that look. No, go watch the whole video. Go watch Cenk is hoping you don't go watch the whole video. Or maybe maybe his big ass head just can't keep in his head exactly what happened during that interview. He has continually said Trump isn't going to do these things. And if he does, I'll point them out. But then when Donald Trump does these things, he doesn't point them out. He doesn't go to his best bud Charlie Kirk's house and have a beer with him and go, hey, check it out. It looks like Trump's putting brown people in deportation camps. Isn't that what we said he was going to do? Isn't that weird? And Charlie Kirk is like, shut the fuck up, Cenk. Anna Kasparian was like full propaganda mode when that shit happened. She doesn't like. She wants.
Guys,
I don't know if I belong here anymore. Like, I'm going to just keep it real, Cenk. I don't know if I belong anymore. I don't. Because people want propaganda. They do. They want propaganda.
But our
and
audience
I don't want to do propaganda.
Look at.
And I don't even disagree with that. I disagree with her saying that. I don't disagree that one of the biggest problems in our society today is that people want entertainment value. Have you guys watched the Jerry Springer Netflix documentary? If you haven't, you should. These are the two documentaries that you watch, and it's going to sound weird because you're going to be like, why the fuck would I watch either one of those documentaries? You should watch the Vince McMahon documentary, and you should watch the Jerry Springer documentary. And there is one person that is in both of those documentaries. Can you guess who it is? Here, I'm going to get a drink. Can you guess who the central individual, I guess he's not central, can you guess who the one person is that appears in the Jerry Springer and the Vince McMahon documentary? Can you guess? Oh, I haven't even started drinking my yerba mate. That's probably the problem. Spilt a little bit on me. Alan wins. Yes, it's Trump. Trump was a good friend of Vince McMahon's. Trump was in the WWE. He was a huge part of the Degeneration X bullshit. That was the degeneration of society. And then in the Jerry Springer, they don't have an episode of Donald Trump on Jerry Springer, which would have probably broken. There was no internet back then. Well, I guess it was 2010-ish. That would have broken the internet. But instead, they play a couple clips of his apprentice talking about the fact that that is the type of entertainment that people are glomming onto, and specifically during that time. And it's actually extremely pertinent to watch the Jerry Springer show, because there's two very important lessons you will learn from that. One, the people that were doing what they did with Jerry Springer knew what they were doing. They knew that it was bad for society. They say it over and over again. And the second part about that is it destroyed many lives. Both the people that worked there and the people that went on that show. And we, as a people, as a society, have continued to encourage propaganda. So I don't disagree with her statement. It feels disingenuous. It feels as though it's a snake oil salesman telling you he hates cons. He hates the con. He hates the con. But he's a snake oil salesman. She's a propagandist. She's a propagandist. And her saying that is just fucking mind-blowing.
Look at 90% of the comments saying, attaboy, we love that you're doing honesty, we like the nuance, etc. That's why if you're a member
Vanguard
right now,
made you mad
and remember,
on,
the folks
Boston
who
Brian
didn't like that already left. Okay, like...
Did they?
No, they did, Anna.
Oh, dude. This is like weird to watch, to be honest with you. I wonder if are they doing this on purpose? Is this like pre-planned, or is this some kind of weird like marital spat? Are they married? That's probably an asshole thing to say, I'll be honest with you. Of all the asshole things I have to say, like generally I don't go there. But are they? I don't know, to be honest. Thank you for the $2 fan. Jerry Springer equals reality TV equals brain rot. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, you watch those two documentaries and you'll get a firm grasp on why we are who we are today. George Carlin said it. It's not the politicians. It's the people. The people that vote for those politicians get the politician that they want. They get the politician that they deserve. Because no one wants to hear this. Whether it's me or you guys in the audience or it's just people out in the world. We have more control over our lives than we want to believe we do. Because it feels really good to act like somebody else is doing all this shit to us. And I'm not saying that you don't lack some control. That is obvious, and it's actually going to get worse the more we allow billionaires to be in charge of things. So if you think you have no control now, just wait. It's going to actually get a lot worse. But right now, we do have the ability to control certain things. And one of those things, if Jerry Springer had a fight on its show and nobody watched it, there would have been no Jerry Springer show. If the WWE would have ripped the top off of a woman and slapped her in the face in the ring and nobody watched it, that wouldn't have been a era in our history. So we have to remember that the things that we do also influence where society goes. And we need to take that control back. We need to stop saying things like our vote doesn't count. We need to stop saying things like all politicians are corrupt. If you don't like the politicians that are there, then you need to do the work to find the politicians that you believe should be there. Because right now, probably the deadliest sin in America is apathy. If you're not a person that wants to get on the internet and speak like I do, then be an activist. If you are a person that's on the internet, but you don't like getting on here and ranting and yelling and reacting to things, but you play video games and you like to stream video games, then talk to young people. If you get on, if you're out in society and you work as a social worker, then do things with real people. Speak to them. Help them. You can do something. You have to take the control back to your life, and you have to show all these people, these oligarchs, these bullshit artists, these propagandists, that you can be media literate enough to become immune to their bullshit. And also, I watched the Jerry Springer show when I was a kid, so I'm a part of that problem. Hindsight's 2020, right?
Etc. That's why if you're a member right now, and remember, the folks who didn't like that already left. Okay, like.
Did they?
No, they did, Anna.
Wow.
Look,
What's up,
new
Nathan?
members come in all the time.
Like I said,
So that kind of actually speaks to what I said. I said that they're trying to change their subscriber base. They realize that right-wing media is much easier than left-wing. I explained this the other night, and I'll do it again for you guys. This is the right, and this is the left. The right is glued together and have a purpose, and the left, if one of these people disagrees, that person's by themselves. Okay? That's the right and the left. And I'm 76% sure that the reason that TYT is doing what it's doing is because they recognize that if you really do want to make money in media, right-wing media is where you make money. Left-wing media is where you go to rant and attempt to do some type of good for society, which everybody mocks you for.
exclusively obtained this TYT meltdown. They tried to hide it from all you guys. It's not available on their main channel. That's
it's from the member channel.
This one private, but we exclusively obtained
Good job,
this sucker
Benny.
and cannot
Stay
wait
loud, Benny.
to show it to you. This one's just so funny, guys.
Yeah, without any further ado, do you want to go ahead and plow right into this TYT stuff? I'm excited. You've really teed it up. I know that they said it was a bonus crash out, and I know that Anna had a crash out already during the main.
Okay, hold on. Oh, no. Oh, no. So, they monetized in the members area this content. Dude, can you be any more disingenuous? Like, that's like, guys, like, that's like if me and my wife had a show, right? That's like if me and my wife had a show, and I was like, if you want to see me and my wife argue and fight with each other and her almost leave me, you gotta be a member. We don't just post that on the internet. We put it behind a paywall. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's so dishonest. Like, if you legit didn't want people to see that, you just cut that out. Like I do out of like 90% of my videos, so you guys don't see all the dumb shit I say. Like, what? That's the most disingenuous thing I've ever heard. You're going to put the argument you had about her possibly quitting behind a paywall. Holy shit, dude. You've got
main show that we reacted to yesterday, where she kind of calls out Francesca. Major projection against Francesca Fiorentini, who obviously recently just landed a great show, great gig with Wajahat Ali over at Zateo. I believe they've done 2 episodes so far. They've had 2 live streams.
I'll be honest with you guys, if there's one person that I really... Well, no. There's multiple people I'd like to work with that I think are really intelligent people. Brian Tyler Cohen is 100% one of my favorite people out there. But Mehdi Hassan and before somebody's like, I don't like his take on Israel or whatever the fuck. I've told you guys a million times. I can see the arguments. I can see the comments already popping up. I don't agree with everybody on everything, okay? And you shouldn't. You should never agree with everybody on everything. That's insanity. That's cult behavior. I don't agree with everything Mehdi Hasan says, but I really, really think Mehdi Hasan does a good job. I think Mehdi Hasan is aggressive enough that he speaks his mind. He's not always right, in my opinion. Like I said, that's debatable. But if I could, like Zateo, I think Zateo is something really good, and I love seeing that Francesca went to Mehdi Hasan. Having Francesca over in Zateo, that feels good. That feels good.
Stream's very successful. Anna clearly not taking it well, coping, seething, lashing out. The internet has once again, kind of struck Anna down and said, actually, we're Team Francesca. And apparently, she's cracking like a nut.
Ooh, yeah. After you see this, I'm excited for your opinion, Zach, plus the chat. But I think it's official. We can say that she's in the middle of some sort of a literal crisis. I'm almost starting to feel bad, bro. Like, this is getting pretty brutal, pretty gnarly. Are you ready to take a look at this, bro?
Oh, dude, I was born ready.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I agree. Like, I mean, that's good on him for having empathy. It just seems faux. It seems contrived. Maybe it's just because she's a TV personality, but it doesn't seem real. I don't know.
All right, let's take a look, guys. This is from the bonus show. Cenk seems beyond disturbed at this point as well. Can only imagine what he has to deal with behind the scenes. But holy shit, guys, get ready for this one.
We have a problem with Cenk is that Trump said this accident happened because of DEI, so he automatically blamed black and brown people. Where was your outrage at that racism? I think it was in the story. I said that he shouldn't.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my.
That's what triggered her? See, this is why it's faux. Look, let me do my best TYT impression. Let me do my best attempt. I better have a drink of yerba mate for this. Hold on. I'm feeling better now. The caffeine's kicking in. I had like the worst headache. Let me do my best impression of what TYT is saying they're trying to do. TYT is making the claim right now that what they're trying to do is give you common sense takes on things that are happening in today's world without like an extreme progressive spin, right? Like they're saying, like, their claim is that if a person that's transgender is involved in some type of crime, they're not allowed to talk about it because they're not allowed to talk about it. First of all, that's not true. That's not true. They're saying something like this accident that involves DEI, that's what Trump said, is the dumbest fucking speech from a president of the United States I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen so many dumb ones, specifically from Trump, that actually like really, really means something. But Trump said the crash was because of DEI. When asked why he thought it was because of DEI, he said, because I have common sense. One of the things he pointed out was that the FAA had these DEI rules that were potentially trying to find people with severe mental disabilities and severe physical disabilities. Let me tell you, as a person, you guys are going to laugh at this. As a person that worked for a company that employed disabled people, that's right. Now you guys know my secret's out. All right. I worked for a temp place as a forklift driver that employed disabled people. I can get into how a person that is not disabled, you guys, fuck you guys for whatever jokes you're making right now in chat, not looking at it. I wasn't, okay? I got the job as a forklift driver. But I can tell you this. When you have something like the FAA saying that they are looking for people with severe mental or physical disabilities, they're not putting them in the fucking pilot seat. They're fucking like janitors and fucking administrative assistant. Like, Jesus Christ, are people this fucking stupid? They're doing it because the government likes money. They're trying to find ways to make sure every single person in the fucking country is capable of getting a job and paying fucking taxes. It's not even because they're good human beings. It's not even because of that. Those rules are there to get the maximum amount of tax dollars from American citizenry. They're like, look at that guy over there with schizophrenia. He can write a report. Yeah, he might murder somebody. Not that fucking. We'll deal with that when we get to it. When we get to that bridge, we will cross it. Okay? The government, like, what Cenk is trying to do here is be like, okay, guys, so we need to talk about the fact that DEI does, in fact, make corporations have to employ people with severe physical and mental disabilities. We're not gonna sugarcoat this. We're not gonna use kid gloves on this because we're TYT and we give you the straight up facts on this. There's no way that Cenk, well, no, there is a chance that Cenk doesn't understand what I just explained. There's no way that Cenk doesn't know that the positions that those people are put in are not positions of extreme responsibility, unless it's just like a physical disability, right? No fucking way he doesn't know that. So then he's going to go the route of saying, well, lefties, you got to admit, Trump has a point. No, I fucking don't. Because Trump doesn't even know the point he's trying to fucking make. His whole point of view is not, yo, there's actually like these people that like fucking, they can't move their hands, but the job is to move their hands. No. Like, in his stupid fucking moronic caveman brain, he just thinks there's like a transgender person behind the fucking wheel and they're just bad at driving, like the old fucking, cliche that women are bad at driving. By the way, my wife is such a better driver than I've ever been in my life. Ever. She's Pacific Islanders, so she's Asian and woman, okay? Like fucking all the cliches, all the most racist shit you can believe, okay? Fucking way better driver than I've ever been in my life. That's what TYT's trying to do. TYT's trying to be like, no, dude, you're saying that we didn't say, we covered it. We said that they're, like, he shouldn't have said that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Fucking guy. I'm just fucking.
Are you ready to
losing
take a look at
guy.
this, bro?
Oh, dude, I was born ready.
All right, let's take a look, guys. This is from the bonus
What's
show.
happening, TC?
Cenk seems beyond disturbed at this point as well. Can only imagine what he has to deal with behind the scenes.
Yes, and they get a tax break
holy
for
shit,
hiring.
guys, get
Thank
ready
you,
for this
Benny.
one.
We have a problem with Cenk is that Trump said this accident happened because of DEI, so he automatically blamed black and brown people. Where was your outrage at that racism? I think it was in the story. I said that he shouldn't.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
No, it's okay, Anna. It's okay.
You can't tell me that this isn't contrived. I don't know. I guess it could be. It could be real. I mean, I have that type of reaction sometimes, for sure. I guess I do. Okay. I'm 70-30 that this shit is contrived. Okay, actually, I'm 80-20 because it's still behind a fucking paywall.
Sometimes, look.
No, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
No,
It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
it's had to
Doesn't matter.
learn.
Everything else we said in the segment doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, people
Yeah.
are just going to hear what they want to hear. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. But go
Okay,
ahead.
Hold on.
Okay, I'll admit I have not watched TYT for a long time now because of the dumb shit they say. I will go watch this, and I will not subject you guys through this. But if I am incorrect about my opinion, I will change it, okay? But I do not believe that, from what I have seen from Cenk recently, it is attempting to be like the extreme left is saying shit about Trump that's not true. He's not a fascist. Like, oh, he does a lot of fascist shit. Stop calling him fascist. Like, but what if he does fascist stuff? Are we allowed to call him? He's not a fascist. Well, actually, he's not the one who said that. It was Anna, to be completely fair. Anna actually yelled at Cenk for calling him a fascist. And then she's like, oh, are we those people now? You've been those people for fucking 10 years.
Let me do a thing here. And guys, everybody else that wrote in, I love you, and I wish I had time to read it because it was so important and interesting. But let me use the time here to say something else. I talked to my sister the other day, and she had talked to some of her friends that are non-political, totally non-political, okay? And
Very credible source.
but they watch MSNBC and they watch cable news, they watch mainstream media. They don't go online at all. Okay?
Wait. Did he say she? Wait, hold on, come back.
Watches some of her friends that are non-political, totally non-political, okay? And
Very credible source.
but they watch MSNBC.
Okay, hold on. They're non-political, but they watch political shows? Does he hear the words that come out of his mouth? Oh my fucking God. If you were talking to a person and they said, yeah, I don't really care about politics at all, I'm not political. And then in the next breath, they were like, I watch Fox News. Actually, I'd be like, yeah, you don't know shit about politics.
And they watch cable news, they watch mainstream media. They don't go online at all, okay? And they're also scared to death. They think that Trump is going to come and round up Democrats in New Jersey and put them into camps. Like,
Bruh.
and what I underestimate.
Wait, who's saying that? Like, see, this is my problem, is this like over exaggeration of what people are talking about. It's like the trans bathrooms thing all over again. It's because Kamala ran on trans bathrooms. No, she fucking didn't, dude. Look, do I believe that there's some people out there that are like legit, like, hey, that's a possibility? Oh yeah, for sure. Like, you could even ask me. If you ask me, if you're like, do you think like there's a percentage chance that at one point or another Trump would start rounding up people that weren't like ideologically in line with him? I go, well, there's a chance, you know, like do I think it's like possible? Probably not. But I'm also the guy that said that Trump wouldn't do a lot of the stuff that he's doing today. I literally sit in an office with a guy who was like, Trump's going to do this, Trump's going to do that. And I was like, you know, checks and balances, bro. Checks and balances. Do I think that those people exist out there? Of course there's like some. But is that like some kind of widespread like opinion that people have? I have not seen a single person, and I am fucking doing this all the time nowadays, that said that those words.
Bruh.
One, my first beef with that before he even
You
got
think they
into
should lock up
like
all
who
of
doesn't
New
use
Jersey
the internet?
redunk?
Oh, so your sister's friends who are ostensibly what 55-year-old women. So how old are you if you're 55? You were born in 1970. Do you really think there are people walking around this earth that were born in 1970 that don't know how to use the internet? These are people who were 30 in the year 2000. Okay, it might not be their primary news source, but to act like these people, they're never on.
They never go on the internet. That's actually a solid point. Oh, it's like there's too much wrong with the argument. Like I'm missing stuff. Like, yeah, like these people are like, I don't ever like fucking every like homepage on the internet bombards you with political content every day of your life. There's no fucking way these people don't have any opinions on politics.
They don't even know what to sell.
Dude, people that don't want anything to do with politics now are forced to fucking have things to do with politics. That's how I ended up here. That's fucking crazy.
People, they don't even know what's a home computer. Do I still have to dial up? This is not a real
what's that, Narachi?
Anecdote. This seems
What a
totally
redom. I
fabricated
don't think
to me
I said
on
hi.
the surface already.
Was how much people believed, whether it's shows online or MSNBC. Because MSNBC is talking about, the camps, and Trump's going to kill us all, and et cetera, right? So
What? Dude, like, I don't like mainstream media, but I'm not going to sit up here and bullshit you. Like, I don't think you should watch MSNBC or CNN or Fox News or any of that shit. 100%. I think it's fucking brain rot. I think the shit that they talk about is stupid. But what? They're talking about that Trump's going to round people up and put them in camps? Because if you're talking about Guantanamo Bay, 100%, that's actually, Trump has not denied that. Trump is all about it. Trump is like, he is petitioning the government to allow him the use of Guantanamo Bay to put deportees into while they're being held to be deported to these different countries, while he's arranging flights to Venezuela and Guatemala and negotiating with these countries to get them to take back their citizens. Like, that's not untrue. Like I said, like, I will shit on mainstream media all day long, But if they say something true, I'm not going to fucking shit on them for that. That's like Trump is actually doing that. But I have not seen a single source from mainstream media that is claiming that Trump is going around and rounding up people and putting them in camps. This is my problem with TYT.
So it doesn't mean you shouldn't be concerned about the things Trump is actually doing. As we're telling you, Gitmo's a bad idea. The birthright citizens.
What's Gitmo, Jank? Oh, a camp where 30,000 motherfuckers are gonna go.
Was nonsense. On and on and on and on, right? But part of what it's causing is this like emotional and psychological trauma to Democrats across the country, the entire left-wing spectrum, right? Because they
see, like, I don't disagree. The body of his argument is really bad. It's really bad. To be honest with you, I am super surprised that Jank is as successful as he is, because it almost feels like he doesn't really actually have any kind of like educational foundation for this shit. Like, that's crazy to me, because him and his nephew are wildly successful at this. That's crazy to me. But dude, I gotta go back. One more time.
On and on and on, right? But part of what it's causing is this like emotional and psychological trauma.
Yeah. So I don't disagree with what he's saying about the fact that it is causing mental degradation, not specifically to the left, on the left, the right, across the country. We had a mental health problem to begin with, and all of this shit is just making it worse. COVID made it worse. Chaos makes it worse. As a person who has been in leadership for 20 years, I can tell you this. When things get bad, one of the most important things that a leader does is he doesn't panic. He doesn't add to the chaos. A really good leader will look around at a situation that is super chaotic and say to the people, he does not gaslight them, he or she does not gaslight them. He says, yes, we are in this and we will get through this. That's what a really good leader does. And what we are seeing right now, specifically from Donald Trump, is adding to the chaos. Not just saying, this is bad, but then saying, actually, it's going to get a lot worse. And also the things that you guys fear the most are the actually biggest actors. DEI. Like we all know now from the airplane and helicopter reports and from the FAA, the most likely reason that crash happened was because of understaffing in the FAA. And I'm not even putting that on anybody. I'm not making any accusations as to whose fault that is. I'm just saying the body of the argument of the fact that it was a DEI problem is insane. And it just adds more to the chaos. Like, yeah, I agree that there's a mental health problem, but saying that specific to the left, like that, like MSNBC is making these people crazy. Like, have you watched Fox News before?
Trauma to Democrats across the country.
Yeah, exactly.
The entire left
This is fine,
spectrum, right? Because they're like the media has convinced them that they're about to get rounded up.
Hold on. Narachi said, George W. probably glad to see his old stomping ground getting dusted off. Getting the Gitmo ready. Oh, dude, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. George W. is like, fuck, I hope he sees where I scratched my initials in the wall where we're torturing that terrorizer. God damn it.
Right? Because they're like the media has convinced them that they're about to get rounded up. Don't do that.
See, that's like that would be a legitimate like thing to say to people if it were true. Like, if it was wildly rampant that MSNBC was telling people that this like crazy thing was happening where they're going to be rounded up and stuff, I'll say to you now, and probably be wrong, we're not there yet. It's a slippery slope, but we're not there yet. So if you think that like someone's going to show up and round you up right now, unless you are brown or black, oh Jesus, actually, my argument is falling apart as I say it. Jesus Christ. Is he talking about immigrants? Because he does realize, okay, hold on. Is he saying that MSNBC is saying to like Latino people, you know, people that ain't white, Okay, anybody that isn't white, yeah, like you might want to carry ID on you right now because if you don't have ID on you, you might get deported. Like, that's legit, actually. Like, there are stories across the country right now of people fucking having to show ID that are legitimately fucking U.S. citizens. Like, that actually, like, people who should, I mean, don't, like, break. I've said this before, like, one of the most important things for every one of you guys out there to understand right now is that you keeping it together is fucking incredibly important. You keeping it together right now is the most important thing that you can do. Like, watch some football, read a book, play a game, enjoy a hobby. Do not become what the right became. Do not let yourself be broken in the way that the right has been broken, where everything is fear, anger, and hate. That I agree with. But I think you have to, like, partition this argument into a couple different arguments. And that is, if you are a white American that believes that, like, you know, tomorrow the FBI is going to show up and just start putting people in camps, calm down. We're not there yet. If you're a anything but white American, you should definitely have ID on you at all times. I mean, generally you want to anyways. But it does seem as though a couple people have been snatched the fuck up when they don't have ID on them. That's why the indigenous tribes have been pushing harder for all of their members. A lot of those guys, or all of those people, don't have ID on them. They generally are on the reservation. They don't, like, this is as I understand it. If I'm wrong about that, just tell me. But that's as I understand it, is a lot of them don't have IDs on them. So that's really bad for them, because if some dipshit ICE agent is like, that's a Mexican. Like, no, motherfucker, I'm Navajo. They're like, same shit. Go fucking full custard and fucking Trail of Tears, my fucking Indian brethren, okay, my Native American brothers and sisters, all right? Fuck you guys. Don't do that shit. Leave them alone. Leave everybody alone. Anyways, fucking definitely have an ID on you. Like, two different arguments there. Two different arguments there. Yeah, paint
fight the things that are real,
exactly.
But don't get yourself in, like, this stress ball thinking that he's going to round you up any second.
Bro, it's crazy because he literally is trying to expand the definition of the people that he can round up. He's trying to shrink the definition of who is actually a legitimate, right? Legal American. All of it sounds like fucking crazy.
Yeah, I already talked about it. I already said he now wants to, and like I said, you don't have to believe me. Just look this shit up. I know it sounds fucking insane, but he legit is talking about whether or not he can start deporting American citizens that are criminals. That should fucking worry you. That literally means you're going to have groups of fucking individual human beings that we all know already, if you're not the right color, might accidentally murder you, or purposely, depending on how you look at it. You know, might accidentally kneel on your neck for like 9.5 fucking minutes until you die. These same people that you can't even trust at a fucking traffic stop are now going to be potentially in charge of whether or not you get a criminal offense that then gets you deported from America. Also, where the fuck are they going to send these people? Like, are we going to deport our fucking insane American mentality to India? Like, fuck, I guess India is probably the best place because India actually could water it down, right? There's enough actual Indians, literal Indians, to water down the American psyche. Like, that actually might be the best place. Maybe I'll move to India. I don't know. It's possible.
Crazy to say out loud. But basically, he's trying to roll back birthright citizens. He's trying to roll back
need
visas for
RFID
people
chips.
who are already here legally.
Fuck up.
Those people will then be deported. Those people have every right to be worried about what's going to happen to them.
Pete,
where are they
too
going to go?
dark, brother.
Imagine if you were born here, you're worried about both of your parents being deported because they weren't born here. Where are you going to go? You speak English. Your Spanish is okay. You've never been to El Salvador or wherever the hell they're talking about threatening to send you and your family back. You don't know how you're going to make a living there.
I'm going.
You don't know if you're going to starve. You don't know if your family's going to be in immediate jeopardy.
Okay, let me just say this, Redonk. I'm just going to say this. If I get a free trip to Australia out of this shit... Oh, I didn't know I'm in front of the Vanguard here. Sorry, guys. Here, let me move myself. My big-ass head's in the way. if I can get a free trip to Australia out of it, I'm gonna be committing some crimes. Just saying. I just need to know what level of crime do I need to commit to be sent to Australia. Fucking, can I do that? Yeah, I get that, True Tech, but I mean, it seems like for as many billion people as they have over there, they seem to actually be doing a little bit better than we are right now. It's fucking insane. If we're going to exile the maggots, we should send them to South Africa. Seems legit. Kind of feel bad for the South Africans who've already been through apartheid and all that shit. But it's not a bad idea. It's staying on the table. It's staying on the table, okay? Staying on the table.
Jeopardy, right? You telling those people that they shouldn't be afraid is crazy.
Nice,
okay,
Cajun.
it's far
I got you.
crazier than the people who are actually very nervous.
Yeah, specifically because
think that's
Jake
actually called
himself
Nazi
correctly
Germany.
identified
Read
Trump as a Hitlerian figure and correctly identified
No, not
MAGA
the
as a Hitlerian
AmeriCoin.
movement like 8 months ago when he was running for president. So when he wanted to make it a campaign talking point that my opposition is Hitlerian, he was all for it. He was completely down.
Fucking based. That is 100% right. And we all know the reason Jank is doing what Jank is doing now. Jank, just like many of the people that joined MAGA, experienced his moment of angst, pushback, cancel culture when he was told nobody wanted him as a president. That's when he experienced that shit, and that's why he's doing what he's doing now. That's got to be it. It's got to be it. People are like, "Nah, we don't want none," and he made the biggest mistake. It's like right now, mind you, I've had MAGA people fucking be like, "We would take you over here." So I don't know. Maybe because I'm a bald white man, I still get a pass to MAGA. Okay, but if I were to try to right-wing grift, it'd be real hard. All right. There's a lot of videos of me calling them morons. And though they are practically abuse victims over there, and Daddy Trump has conditioned them to just forgive any type of abuse that they take, I'm pretty sure it'd still look pretty bad. Because like the Charlie Kirks of the world, the Dave Rubins of the world, they don't want me coming over and stealing their grift, right? Like they would take one look at me and be like, bro, like you said mega moron like 13 times in like a 10-second period. Like you're an asshole. And I'd be like, that's true. It is true. Can you guys play the clip? Please play the clip. Like, dude called him Hitler.
Down to scream that at the top of his lungs on any podcast that would have him.
Ugh.
Now, for whatever reason,
I ain't
he
going to
wants
that barbecue.
Make you feel like
That's
you're
how
an
you come up
idiot,
missing,
gaslight
Rita.
you for having similar concerns.
Guys, if
I don't
he's
know if
gonna
I belong
do
here
that,
anymore. Like, I'm going to just keep it real, Jank. I don't know if I belong anymore. I don't. Because people want propaganda.
She says she doesn't like her kind around here.
They do. They want propaganda.
But our
and I
audience
don't want to
doesn't.
do propaganda.
Look at 90% of the comments saying, "Attaboy, we love that you're doing on it."
Oh, no, he didn't. Did he just say 90% of the comments are attaboy? My dude, you're supposed to let other people talk shit to you. You shouldn't talk shit to yourself like that. Attaboy. Damn. He said the comment, my new conservative right-wing commenters pat me on the head and tell me I'm doing a good job. God damn, son. Yeah, the barbecue includes a burning cross. Yeah, I'm not going to that barbecue.
Honesty,
Fucking,
we
I'm
like
not
the
trying to
nuance,
get
etc.
abducted.
That's why if you're a member right now, and remember, the folks who didn't like that already left. Okay, like
Did they?
no, they did.
Damn. You know what he's saying about the audience right now? Damn, that's crazy. He said the people that felt like that already left. Like he's saying if you were like a progressive person that originally watched the show because they disliked Trump and did like if you're still here, you're one of them. One of us. One of us. One of us. I wonder if I can play that video on here. Can I play that video on here and not get in trouble? Let's see. I was gonna probably pull up some fucking shitty Drake song or something like that. Knew it. Here it is.
We'll make her one of us. A loving cup, a loving cup. We accept her, one of us. We accept her, one of us. Gooba gobble, gooba gobble. We accept her, we accept her. Gooba gobble, gooba gobble.
First of all, this shit is fucked up. I just want to say that.
Gooba gobble.
Hey, that is not okay in this culture nowadays. One of us. That's what Jank's trying to tell you right now. That's what Jank's trying to say right now. Holy shit.
Anna, look, new members come in all the time.
I'm sorry. People will be angry and call this maybe misogynistic coded. I don't mean it in that way. I mean it in like a paternal daughter kind of a way. Doesn't it seem like he's talking down a 12-year-old that's like had enough with the day? It's like, my life's going to be over. I didn't make the soccer team. Like, nobody's ever going to want to be my friend again. Everybody hates me and my life is miserable. And then it's the dad that has to be reassured.
It's
and be
okay.
Like,
Everything's
no,
all right.
honey, you have plenty of friends.
Diversity.
Your family loves you. You can play soccer for the joy of playing soccer. You know what I mean? It literally sounds like a father talking to his distressed child.
Oh yeah,
Not
if
my
you're
pilot.
An adult talking to a fellow adult in this tone of voice, there's a good chance you're dealing with someone who's just not stable. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you guys can relate if you ever found yourself at a point in time where you're literally trying to like talk someone from the tree or whatever, and you're like, hey, like I know.
So I want to point out too is like all the people that are like, the left never criticizes the left. This is literally the left criticizing the left while a left criticizes the left criticizing the left.
Oh,
just saying.
You're in the middle of something right now, but you need to calm.
Well, Mockler
that
better
person's
not quit.
probably not 100%
Adam
stable.
Mockler
They
better
probably
not.
are spiraling a little bit.
I'll send him mean messages.
And that's exactly what Jank is having to do here.
Talking
Not
to Adam
only to
every
his
once in a
friend,
while.
but
Every once in a while,
in
Adam
public,
Mockler talks to
in
me.
front of an audience of thousands of people.
Later,
so it's
Edom.
extra humiliating
Night,
and
buddy.
insane.
Yeah.
And there's some folks who still object or who are still worried, etc., but they're still here. And we've been attacked 2,000 times, and recently we had about 1,000 of the 2,000 happen all at once and all from our own side, and they're still here, right? So I love those guys. I love all of you out there who had enough faith to stay here, even if sometimes you question us, even if you don't even agree with us on this, but at least you're open-minded enough and patient enough to hear us out, to see who's right, who's wrong, what.
See, I don't disagree with saying I'm going to say some things and you guys might not like them, so you should push back against them. That's not the problem. I think that like one of the biggest misunderstandings maybe for Jank here is that he thinks the reason that people are upset with him is because he's pushing back on the like assumed progressive mentality, because I actually don't think that it's as prevalent as people make it out to be, right? So the assumed progressive mentality of like complete and utter cancel culture and all this shit that he claims these people are saying, like, right? Like, he thinks that's what people are mad at him for. People aren't upset that you're questioning whether or not the left should be, arguing over DEI or showing blind support for DEI. Let's put it that way. He's saying the left shows blind support for DEI without ever bringing into account any type of common sense. That's his accusation. There's nothing wrong with pushing back and saying, hey, can we look at these things and talk about these things? The problem is when you say things like, I'm going to go on Charlie Kirk's show, we're going to sit down, we're going to have a beer, I'm going to be made to look like a patsy, then I'm going to follow that up by going on Piers Morgan's show, I'm going to let Andrew Wilson shit all over me and tell me that I'm trying to be a right-wing grifter, I'm going to go hang out on Piers Morgan's show and get shit on by Dave Rubin. That's what people are upset with him about. They're not upset with the fact that, like you're saying, like, oh, we should talk about, like, whether or not every part of DEI is perfect. Of course it's not. Of course there's always things that need to be worked on within any system. That is perfectly fine. It's the way that you talk about it. And when you talk about it in a way that is like, see, can't you guys see that Trump is right and DEI is bad? well, then, yeah, you're going to get pushback from the left because you're literally just fucking regurgitating a right-wing talking point. You're talking to left-wing Democratic people that have zero fucking connection to conservative values. Or not even conservative values, MAGA values. If you want to talk about this, the correct way to talk about this would be to say, first of all, DEI didn't have shit to do with this plane crash. Let's start there. Second, Trump's an asshole. What Trump did is fucked up, and no leader should ever do what Donald Trump did. That is the most unleader-like behavior I've ever seen in my life. And then, if you want to, then you can say, look, DEI is not perfect, and we would like to make it better. There are certain things within DEI that don't always make a lot of sense, so let's look at trying to make those parts better. You got to talk to it in a personal, positive, progressive way. And instead, the way that Jank talks about these things is in this hypercritical, like, the right deserves to be, because right now there's this rift between us. So the right deserves our empathy, and the right deserves us to be patient with them, and the right deserves to be able to say insane shit and us not speak out against it, because right now we need to create better connections with them. Now the left? Fucking idiots! Have you seen what DEI is? Dude, they're employing fucking people who can't use their hands to do jobs they gotta use their hands. God, the left's stupid. It's like, that's why people are pissed off at you, bro.
What makes sense and not. So, and Anna, at the same time, hold on. Where is the
disagreement? No, you hold on. Where is the disagreement, though? Seriously. Because if I shared anything that was inaccurate, then I want to correct that inaccurate reporting. The problem that, like, and by the way, it's obviously not everyone in the audience. I'm specifically referring to the critics. The criticism is that I had the audacity to even fact check Donald Trump on his claims about the hiring practices, No,
see, so I didn't watch her video, so 100% honesty on that. I didn't watch Anna, so I don't know what she's saying here. But I'm going to once again point out that if you're using the excuse that DEI in the FAA was hiring people with severe mental disabilities and severe physical disabilities, and then you are not applying any more logic to that sentence and just accepting that people with disabilities, mental or physical, no matter their severity, can never have a job within a fucking airport, then you're a fucking moron that is completely disconnected from having a real job. As I said, I worked at a huge tech company. I worked at one of the biggest technology companies in California, if not in the United States of America. I was a janitor. That's really anticlimactic, I'm sure, for most of you. You think they fucking let me fuck with the computers? Come on, bro. You gotta see my technical difficulties here. I worked there as a maintenance man. I drove a forklift. I went and picked up fucking really high-paid engineers recycling and cleaned up their trash and shit like that. And then the people that worked with me were English as second language people. And then there was a disabled gentleman, a mentally disabled gentleman. And he was a great fucking dude. He was actually really awesome. He's really into weightlifting, and he liked to talk to me about it a lot. He'd bring a magazine every day and talk to me about fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and the weightlifting magazine. Fucking coolest dude ever. What would you say if this high-brow, high-level tech company had as part of their agenda to hire 10 individuals, me being one of them, that may have mental disabilities that are in different areas of the spectrum, right? From moderate to severe. What would you say to that? Would you immediately go to, oh, the guy with the severe mental disability, he's making the chips. He's drawing up the plans for the chips. He's creating semiconductors. Or do you think that he probably has a much more basic job that is appealing to somebody with his disability? This is my problem with this opinion that they're trying to act like is so common sense. It just makes sense to call out the fact that the FAA was hiring these people, bro. If you can't make the connection that these people weren't flying the planes, weren't in charge of these super high-end responsibility jobs, then you might actually want to apply for a couple of those jobs, okay? You might want to.
Previously for air traffic controllers. I'm not supposed to mention that, right? Like, because that would go against the kind of propaganda that people are expecting.
What's crazy is that she's not even correct about that. The FAA hiring language was the same under Donald Trump's first term. So when she says, look at it, it actually does have some discriminatory things in here. Yeah, that was the same way under Donald Trump, and it didn't have all to do with why those planes crashed. You know why those planes crashed? They crashed because they were understaffed in the fucking towers, did not have the proper people making sure that the planes don't.
That's his argument's actually better than my argument, to be honest. His argument's actually better than mine, because at the end of the day, what really caused the crash had nothing to do with DEI, right? So let's say her argument is legit. Let's say it's fucking watertight. Like they were hiring people that couldn't see to watch fucking monitors for planes. They were hiring deaf people to fucking listen for fucking information to come across the radio waves. She has the most watertight argument that has ever happened. Let's say that, okay? It still didn't cause that crash. That's not what caused the crash. And this is the trans bathroom shit all over again. It's like, well, we believe that transgender people should have equal rights in society. And they're like use the bathrooms. And you're like, I didn't bring that up. Like, why do you want to talk about the bathrooms so much? And it's like, because you guys want people to use the bathrooms. And it's like, no, that's a different argument. The argument isn't trans people should be allowed to go in whatever bathroom they want, no matter what. It's that the enforcement of trying to stop a person that looks exactly like a fucking woman going into a women's bathroom is going to be incredibly fucking hard. Therefore, unless there is already some issue with transgender people just sneaking into bathrooms and fucking assaulting people, we're not going to argue about that right now. Now, on the other hand, we do know that there is discrimination against transgender people in society. As a person that is hired for the majority of my life and been around managers and high-end people, other than when I was a janitor. Sorry. I can tell you that it is legitimate that there are people out there in the hiring process that are racist, ageist, ableist, fucking everything, genderist, sexualitist, homophobic, I guess is the word. And they won't hire people. Like, I have literally worked with people where I'll go, oh, this is a pretty good resume. And the guy will look at it and go, Jamal? And I'll go, yeah, Jamal. He looks like he's pretty good. He's got pretty good history. And the guy will go, huh, Jamal, and walk away. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure that motherfucker just decided not to hire this dude based on the fact his name is Jamal. I've seen this shit. Like, I'm like the exact opposite, because not even because fucking I'm like some kind of anti-racist. It's just that I want to literally interview every fucking person because I just want people that work good. I don't give a fuck what gender you are, who you have sex with, how old you are. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I am just like, please come to work and not be bad. Please. Please just come here and make my job easier. That's all I fucking care about.
Fucking run into each other. Do you know why we have air traffic controllers, Anna? Because there are no street signs in the sky. There are no stoplights. There are no roads.
That's pretty good.
Okay, you have to have somebody that's like, hey man, you can't fucking fly
according
around
to Trump, two white guys should be running TYT.
Landing at this airport all the time.
Yeah, it's called discrimination. I know.
I think we could cut some corners and save some cash if we had less guys in this air traffic control tower, because not that many people use it. Guess what? You're gonna have planes that crash when they're
Solid point. Dude, he is just destroying my ability to make an argument right now. Even better there, and that is something that happens not just in government, but obviously in corporations and stuff like that. So if you've ever been in a grocery store, right, and you're in like an off hour, right? Like, so let's say the store is usually busy between 3 and 5, and you're in there at like 1:30, right? And you get your cart and you go up to go to the register, and there's only like 2 of the like 10 lanes open. And you notice that both those lines are fucking gigantic, and the checker is just out of their mind, like trying to get people through, right? That's because that's how you staff for those hours, because you decide, oh, between 1 and 3, we don't need a lot of people. We need to keep labor hours down during that time. So between 3 and 5, we're going to have the most people, and between 1 and 3, we'll have the least amount of people. Now, obviously, that doesn't always work. And being a person that's worked in management for years, actually, it doesn't work a lot of the time, because human beings are mildly predictable, but they do a lot of chaotic shit. So his point of view that you have like a tower that only ends up with 1 air traffic controller, when at certain times it probably needs 2 or maybe 3 of them. I'm not an expert on this, so I don't know if that's true or not. That's a good argument, because that's much more likely to cause an incident like what happened than the possibility of somebody being black. Throwing it out there.
Private planes, just like the one we just saw last night in Philadelphia, because it was a private medical staff and a patient, and they all went down in fucking
work the other day.
Guess what? Wasn't enough money in making sure
the bench
that
is killing me right now.
Yeah, 100%. Also, it's just crazy the level at which Anna is bitching and moaning about her job continually on an almost daily basis now at the Young Turks. Like, do I even belong here? All this critics and my audience. Like, someone we talk about on the show is Crystal Ball, obviously, and her co-host Sagar and Jerry over at Breaking Points. And one thing we constantly discuss is how they get beat up by the comment section all the time, every single day, guys. It's crazy.
Yeah, and okay, so these guys make a lot of good points, actually. What I was just saying this the other day. So like when you take Chappelle, you take Rogan, take TYT here. One thing you like can't discount is that you have to be a pretty mentally strong person to deal with the type of like fucking text messages, DMs, emails, comments that even a person as small as I get. Like, I get some pretty wacky shit, you know? Like, I've had people tell me, you know, I need to off myself. I've had people call me slurs. I've, you know, had people tell me that, like, you know, like I'll be found, shit like that, you know? It's hard. It is not, it's not something that anybody should discount, even for a content creator that you dislike. But I'll say this. The majority of the stuff that I get is really positive. It's like all of you guys always being super cool to me, always being like awesome to me. And so like it takes like a really strong person to be able to say to yourself, that sucks that those people talk to me in that way and act that way, but the majority of people that I encounter are actually really good people, and like my experience for the most part is positive, right? Like that's what you want to say. And I think that that's one of the things we see. I don't know specifically about TIT. TIT kind of seems grifty. But I think when you see some of these people that went over to MAGA, I think it's because they're just not like very mentally strong people, and they got bad comments, they got bad messages, they got bad emails, and then they thought to themselves like, oh, well, why the fuck am I like, I can go over to the right where these people just fucking jerk me off all day long and tell me how awesome I am. You know, why should I stay over here? That is not in any way a criticism of the left. That is, you know, like people shouldn't send people fucking shitty messages. I've never sent somebody a shitty message like that ever in my life. You shouldn't send people shitty emails, shitty messages. Like, just fucking, like, do your thing. But that's no excuse for people to become grifters. It's no excuse for people to go like, oh, like that broke me and that's why I went over there. It's like, well, then you didn't actually hold those values. I hold the values I hold because they're special to me, and that's like morally what I believe. And no one's going to change that about me by sending me a mean message. No one's going to change that about me by leaving a shitty comment or sending me a fucked up email. At the end of the day, my values are always going to be my values, no matter what. I mean, unless some catastrophic, life-changing event happens that you know, like it gives me a different perspective on reality, these are always going to be my values, regardless of the mean comments.
Crazy. Look at the comment section under any given Breaking Points video. The right-wing faction of the audience is like destroying Crystal in a super uncharitable and nasty way. And oftentimes the same goes for Sagar. We covered a segment the other day where the whole audience like shut him the fuck down. So it's not just like something that happens.
I don't need any more.
She wants to act like she's this victim. Like,
I mean, you guys can talk
everyone
shit to me,
else
I
on
don't mind.
YouTube has a chat that adores them unconditionally, and they agree with everything that person says. But my audience, it's full of all these disloyal critics, all these turncoats and traitors. They should be here to affirm what I'm saying, but instead they're pushing back on it. How fucking dare they? But again, imagine this energy coming from someone like Crystal Ball, who probably has to deal with twice as much bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Cajun said, I sometimes give shitty answers to stupid MAGA questions. Yeah, that's not really what I'm talking about. Like, I don't mind people telling me I'm bad. I don't mind people saying my opinions suck. I like to go back and forth with people, right? Because I'm me. So like I had a guy a while back that said, I think it was in one of my videos, I said, if they make the Trump coin the dollar in America and we have to start spinning Trump coins, I said, I'll move. And he replied to my video with, cool, can we pay for your ticket and you just leave now? And I was like, yeah, super chat away, bud. Send me the money. Because like that doesn't really hurt my feelings. Like I said, I'm a pretty thick-skinned individual. There's a couple things, most to do with the Philadelphia Eagles, that you can hurt my feelings over. But almost everything else, you're not going to hurt my feelings. It's pretty difficult. I come from the trailer park. I'm literally had my best friend's mom was, she is family with Hell's Angels and Mongols, and she used to say the most fucked up shit you will ever believe to me and her son. And I have a very thick skin. So I don't mean mostly that. I mean when people say things like, like you should off yourself, or like, fucking like sometimes like 6-7 paragraph long emails of like crazy shit, like schizo shit. Like that's the kind of stuff that like that stuff I can understand why people are like, like don't do that,
From her own audience.
Mean comments, I don't mind mean comments.
As the Young Turks. And I know
that's
that because
what I was going for, Lauren.
I watch almost every fucking night to make sure that we can do the show the next day to see what we're missing out on.
Super chat away, my friend.
Is. And yeah, there's some people in the chat making fun and, making the Silly and Billy references and bringing up some of the criticism. But for the most part, it's still a perfectly decent, civil chat. It's not like you just open the live chat and it's full of people who hate Anna Kasparian. In fact, she has a decent amount of defenders in the chat, as Jink referenced just a second ago. So it's just so condescending and unprofessional to sit here. You can't even show up to the fucking studio. You can't even show up to the Polymarket studio. You're Zoom calling in like twice a week to condescend to your audience, to bitch and moan and disrespect the people that have paid your bills for all these years, to throw them all under the bus, this whole audience that you've accumulated that at one point was loyal to you. Yeah, maybe they're not going to like it when you start insulting them. Maybe you're not going to like it when you start implying that their movement is full of intellectually people with no intellectual integrity and acting like they just want to hear propaganda. Yeah, no, we don't fucking like that. Because that's not the truth. We don't just want to hear propaganda. We want to hear you speak the truth to power. We want to hear that left flank anti-establishment vibe that made the show popular in the first place.
That's 100%. Anna should try digging ditches if she wants to complain about the kind of job she's working. Just try bartending a busy night, okay? When she's 4 deep in the well for fucking hours and hours and hours. You know what I'm saying? Anna should try and do some real hard labor. Wake up in the morning and have to take 4 more ibuprofen than you took the night before when you went to sleep because your back hurt and your feet hurt. You don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah, and we'll watch something else now because I really like this, but I want you guys to watch the rest of the video on theirs. I haven't subscribed on this one. There you go. But that just goes back to my original point: is I legit think that they don't have any real life experience being on the ground. I just think that. I think that they have no legit experience it must be why I feel like Jank's been in the game for a long time. Anna's been in the game for a long time. Yet somehow their takes on some of these things just don't seem real life. They don't seem in any way connected to reality. It seems almost like a facade, almost like imposter shit. Like I don't know. That's like I said. I think maybe that has something to do with that. Somebody said Adam Mockler quit. Adam Mockler better not fucking quit. I would lose my mind. I'll be all up in his DMs. Okay. You guys ever hear even like a whisper that Adam Mockler is no longer doing YouTube, and I will be all up in those DMs. Okay. You guys let me know. All right. As everybody knows, Adam Mockler, that's my dude. Interviewed Adam a year ago when he was only like 60, 70,000 subscribers. You can check out that video on my podcast, which is on the YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, YouTube's dumb. YouTube does dumb shit. In my YouTube channel, there is a channel called Progressive Matters, and that is my podcast, which I did a interview with Jeffrey Boutwell the other day, descendant of George Boutwell, the person who originally started the Republican Party, which was the Republican Party, which is now the Democratic Party. If you guys ever want to hear a nice explanation of the dumbass thing that Republicans believe about, like, they think that they're the party of Lincoln, like, the Republicans are not the party of Lincoln. Republicans would not vote for Abraham Lincoln. The fucking Republicans of today would not vote for Ulysses S. Grant. So anyways, Jeffrey Boutwell goes over like the disconnect of Republicans today from the Republicans of the Civil War. But yeah, it was actually a really funny conversation. That whole argument is so fucking mind blowing. Like, yeah, fucking the Republicans freed the slaves. Oh yeah, who do you guys like? Robert E. Lee? Do you guys enjoy yourself some Robert E. Lee? Yeah, Robert E. Lee was a great general. He's a fucking dope dude. Oh, then you weren't the party. Would you vote for Ulysses S. Grant today? Did you believe in fucking equality for all like George Boutwell did? Oh no, you don't? Then you're not the same Republicans that fucking participated in the Civil War, you fucking morons. Jesus Christ. I gotta stop. Anyways, did one with Adam Mockler as well, so you can go to my podcast called Progressive Matters, and I think it's like maybe like the 5th episode or something like that. I did a talk with Adam about trying to reach your family members that are MAGA, and we talked a little bit about the Socratic method and how to use the Socratic method to try to deprogram cult members. Because that's what you're doing.
Trump, we're not even 2 weeks into your presidency, and we already have videos of mass protests in one of our closest allied countries in Latin America.
We're trying, W.
Because you sent your Secretary of State to visit after repeatedly threatening them and not even ruling out military coercion. In Panama, I have some videos of citizens.
This is crazy. Like, this is imperialism. He talked about manifest destiny. I don't understand. Actually, no. As I say this, I'm wrong. I do understand. It's the billionaire mentality. I was going to say, I don't understand how you can't feel like you have enough as America. Like, America is, if not it is one of the most resource-rich countries in the world. Speaking of 1870 to 1913, one of the reasons that 1870 to 1913 was so fucking good for America was because we are an incredibly resource-rich country, and back then we were even more resource-rich. But we have enough, man. There is no need for America to start taking territory. Like, you got a problem with what's going on in the Panama Canal? Okay, let's talk about it. Thanks, Art. Thanks, Silent. You can talk about the inadequacies of the deals that we have with let's say with Panama and maybe China is getting a better deal. All of those are acceptable. You can do that. That's fine. But speaking on manifest destiny and talking like an imperialist, in fact, in that Jeffrey Boutwell conversation, we talked about Teddy Roosevelt and Teddy Roosevelt trying to annex the Philippines, and I was like, dude, I love Teddy. Teddy's one of my fucking favorites. Theodore's one of my favorites. Theodore is like one of the greatest presidents of all time, top 3 in my opinion. Number 3, actually. It's Washington, Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt. Those are my top 3, and political historians agree with me. But I was like, wow, he actually wanted to annex the Philippines? And Jeffrey Boutwell was like, yeah, George Boutwell actually stood against him doing that. And I was like, damn, dude, like, stop. Like, I don't agree with that at all. No fucking reason. Like, I get that Greenland is important to America's defense, but you don't need to fucking own Greenland. You help them instead. You offer them aid. Like, It's insane to me that we're going this route of imperialism and manifest destiny, and people are like, yo, don't call him Hitler, but that's some straight up Nazi Germany shit. It is. When you start saying shit like we're going to take Canada, we're going to invade Mexico, we're going to take back the Panama Canal, we're going to buy Greenland, or we'll force them to, that is Nazi Germany shit.
Taking to the streets, protesting, burning American flags, even attacking dolls or effigies of American politicians
dumb and getting dumber.
on the ground.
I do not disagree.
And I'd like to run down the implications of Donald Trump's insanely bolsterous, undiplomatic rhetoric. The way that he talks about all of our allies is not only despicable, but it's the opposite of diplomacy. There's a difference between being strong on the world stage and just being a reckless asshole who comes in with a sledgehammer and tries to tariff every country, only threatening our allies, only tariffing our allies, while weirdly never coming up with a nickname for Vladimir Putin. Is it not weird? Is it not weird to you guys that Trump has a nickname for governor?
Yeah, Adam brought this up the other day, and I was like, dude, that is weird. Don't you guys think that's weird? That, like, it's Sleepy Joe, Crooked Hillary, anybody he doesn't like. Fuck, even people he kind of likes. Fucking Mom DeSantis got Meatball Ron or High Heel Ron or whatever it was. Fucking, was it Sleepy Mark Rubio or whatever the fuck his name was. Like, but he doesn't give, like, why doesn't he call Xi Jinping Winnie the Pooh? That's like a fucking softball nickname. Like, he could literally just call Xi Jinping Winnie the Pooh and just fucking win. That's an auto win. Like, Xi Jinping just turns into Winnie the Pooh and fucking starts throwing fireballs at people if you do that shit. Like, I might actually get gulagged for saying Winnie the Pooh and Xi Jinping in the same sentence. Like, I would not be... I got a sword right here, okay? Fucking got my sword right here in case Xi Jinping busts through that fucking wall like the Kool-Aid man right now and tries to take me, okay? It's fucking weird that he doesn't talk shit to the most evil people in the fucking world. But fucking, you know, the Joe Biden, the Kamala Harris, he never came up with a very good Kamala name. Fucking DeSantis, people like around, he talks shit to those people all day long. Justin Trudeau, talk shit to him. I'm amazed he doesn't have a nickname for the Mexican lady yet first. He's not smart enough to figure out a fucking nickname for the Mexican president.
Newsom, for Trudeau,
Trainwreck Trump,
for Biden,
Melania
for all of our Democratic allies.
That should just be your name.
He's never come up with a nickname for Vladimir Putin.
Weird, but not original.
Besides the point.
It was the first time I heard.
I just want to remind you guys that Panama is a key ally in Latin America. We share strong economic ties, political ties, even security ties, and the Panama Canal remains strategically critical. And the thing is, we have access to it. We can use it however we'd like. We can just negotiate with them. You can negotiate without threatening military coercion. So before I play this video,
they're your allies.
I want to break
you
down
don't threaten
this
to fucking
chain
attack
of
your
events
allies.
that's happened over the past week.
It's pretty much ally 101.
All of our closest partners. For example, I have a video
Kamala was right
Canada's
there.
PM contender saying that they will stand up to a bully, and the bully is now America. We are now bullying our closest allies. This says Mark Carney, the frontrunner to be the next Canadian Prime Minister, has said his country is, quote, going to stand up to a bully after U.S. President Donald Trump announced tariffs of 25% on Canada. Now, those are supposed to go into effect today. We'll talk about that later in the video. But speaking exclusively to BBC, the 59-year-old Carney said Canada will, quote, match dollar for dollar the U.S. tariffs. Let's watch this clip.
The steps that the president...
Hold on, before he gets into that. So not only is it going to fuck Americans, it's going to fuck Canadians. Because then Canadians are going to have higher prices too. So really, all you're doing now is just making prices go up across multiple countries. I'm not going to say globally yet, but that would be the potential thing, right? Like, so once again, who gets fucked out of all of this? Citizens. Just normal-ass people. Normal-ass people... Well, not a lot of us are so normal, but normal ass people are the ones that are going to get fucked out of this. So prices are going to go up in Canada, prices are going to go up in the United States, and ultra wealthy people will benefit from this across the fucking both countries.
President is taking against Canada, contemplating, I guess, as well against Mexico, China, others, and threatening the world are going to rebound negatively on the United States. They're going to hit growth. They're going to move up inflation. They're going to raise interest rates. They're going to damage the U.S.'s reputation around the world. I mean, let's be absolutely clear. This is the second time in less than 10 years, less than 8 years, that the United States has, in effect, ripped up a trade agreement
Yep, the
with
one
its
over
closest
lumber, right?
trading partner that it negotiated in good faith.
That's why I always say Canada is our closest trading
The lumber
partner.
thing happened
not only
last
with
time.
volume of trade, but geographically. They're our neighbors, and we shouldn't be threatening them. But also, Carney makes a really good point here. Donald Trump...
Jane, what you said there, Jane. What's happening, Jane? The whole thing with Greenland is that there is a project called Praxis that was began by Peter Thiel. He wants Greenland for some kind of tech feudal fiefdom. Yeah, and that runs right along with the whole, what is it, Forever California thing too, where they wanted to create another tech fiefdom in East Solano County as well. For anybody that doesn't understand, techno-libertarianism, in my opinion, is what all of this is about. I probably haven't said that enough, and I probably should say it more. I believe, and this is really scary for the average everyday person, because it transcends countries, it transcends nationalities, and it's a bond that a very, very small percentage of the world's population have. And that is the bond of the billionaire, the bond of the ultra-wealthy. And in techno-libertarianism, the way they look at our country, the United States of America, is that they think that each state should have what they consider to be a CEO, a person that's not the governor, not a mayor, not the president, an individual that runs the state like a business. And then the idea is that you take somewhere like California and then somewhere that's comparable, like let's say Texas or Florida, and you say, okay, guys, team meeting. We need to beat Texas. We need to beat Florida. Our labor percentage is too high. Our waste is too high. We're not producing enough stuff. Are we going to let Texas beat us? And we all know how that goes, right? They get wealthy. We get pizza parties. That's how that goes. So in my opinion, what Jane just said there is spot on. It's one of these things that I think Donald Trump distracts from. Donald Trump distracts from the fact that these billionaires that are actually in his pocket, the people that crawled up in his butthole and then fell out of his butthole in the Oval Office like a Trojan horse, those people, in my opinion, are the legit issue with what could happen globally moving forward. Because Donald Trump's an idiot. Donald Trump does a lot of like mean-spirited, fucked up shit. But I believe we can survive 4 years of Donald Trump. I believe that we can put things back together. It's going to be difficult and it's not fun, but I believe in the American people being able to survive that. What I don't think that we can survive as a citizenry, as a global citizenry, is if we allow these ultra wealthy billionaires to get so far into our government that they start to connect with other governments around the world, which is what Elon Musk is doing right now. He just published a tweet today that said, "Mega, make Europe great again." So they want to get, Andrew Tate, who's not a billionaire, but I'm sure he'd love to be one, into Britain. They want to get, the far-right party into Germany. They've already got Viktor Orban. They've already got Vladimir Putin. They've already got Xi Jinping. So they want to, create this technocracy where these ultra-wealthy billionaires have complete control over citizenry because they believe they're the smartest people in the world. They believe that they have the majority of resources, which they do, and that those resources should be used to, launch rockets to Mars and, grandiose their own lives, to cement their own legacies, to create this world where you have no ability to speak out against anything they do. So they might say to you nowadays, oh, no, we're just putting Neuralinks in people's heads that have disabilities. We're just trying to make it so they can use their body parts again. And you're like, oh, that's not that big a deal. But then you fast forward 20 years from now and billionaires have, infested our government like cockroaches. And now you say, well, hold on, I don't want a chip in my brain. They go, well, then you don't get to be in America. we'll deport you to Guatemala. You know, like, in my opinion, there's actually a situation right now that could result in a positive for us, and that is that Donald Trump's ego is so big that he starts to realize that he's being yanked around by these billionaires and actually fights back. Not in a good way. I don't ever think Donald Trump's going to come out fucking with a cape and be our hero for us, but I think his ego is so large that he could fuck up the whole plan for these guys. I feel like there's something there where it's like I like the Elon is the president and Trump is not rhetoric, because I feel like we have to create this divide between this billionaire class and Trump that ends in some type of break, some type of dramatic falling out that both keeps Donald Trump from committing more atrocities, but also at the same time does not leave behind people like J.D. Vance, who are financed by Peter Thiel, to clean up the mess and take power. That's what, like, I know that none of that sounds great, and people are like, why the fuck would we want either one of these people? Well, because this is a situation we're in, right? This is a situation we're in. So I always say I like to deal with what is, not what I wish it would be. So the situation we're currently in today is Donald Trump is the president of the United States and billionaires are running our government. I think our only hope is to create rifts between them that end poorly for both parties. I don't mean the left and the right. I mean billionaires and Trump. And that we hopefully salvage enough of this situation that we can come in afterwards and piece it back together, and hopefully my children's generation, your children's generation, your grandchildren's generation can maybe move into a better life than potentially we're going to have. I know that doesn't sound super awesome. Sorry, guys. that's where I'm at right now.
Ripping up a trade agreement that he himself negotiated during his first term.
So
he's clearly not a trustworthy agent on the world stage. He's a bad faith actor. It's like Putin signing the Budapest Memorandum and then still invading Ukraine years later. Trump is the same way. He is not a good faith actor. And honestly, leaders shouldn't treat him like one. And I don't want other countries to be mass protesting and burning American flags. Ideally, that shouldn't happen, but I understand why they're doing it. And honestly,
Jane.
I think other countries should at some point come together and build a coalition that can thrive without America. As much as I think America should be the leader on the global stage, if Trump's going to be our president, I wouldn't blame Canada and Mexico and other countries for creating their own separate alliance where they can trade without relying on America. But here's another really good video I want to play. This says, this is the response to Trump's tariffs I've been waiting for from Canada. And he says, the threat comes from the president of the United States, a convicted felon and a known predator. Let him cook. Let's watch this video. By the way, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler channel. We're trying to hit 1 million subscribers. Let's jump into this.
We are here this morning, my friends, as an unlikely group with leaders from across the political spectrum who've come together with cultural leaders, artists, academics, athletes, labor activists, and indigenous militant activists. We represent the incredible regions of our beautiful country, and we are here for one reason. Our nation, our beloved Canada, is under threat.
That's crazy.
It is an economic threat.
Hear.
But it's also a threat to our values of decency and inclusion.
Canada saying we're a threat to them is insane.
And our very future as a nation. The threat comes, of course, from the President of the United States, a convicted felon and known predator. He's threatening massive tariffs to try and break us as a people. But the threat is also being driven by the hate algorithms of the oligarchs like Elon Musk.
Good job.
And there is the threat from people in our own country who would sell out our birthright to appease the gangster class from Mar-a-Lago. That is not going to happen.
Honestly, this dude brought the fire. And as much as I love our Democratic politicians, I feel like they've been lacking on bringing the same fire. It feels like they've kind of just been nowhere. I mean, AOC has been doing really well. Pete Buttigieg and Gavin Newsom have been doing great, but I can count on like one hand the amount of Democratic politicians that are out there right now railing against Trump on a day-to-day basis. And this dude from Canada actually ends up stepping
Thanks
up.
for the $2.
So before I play this video,
like the video because I'm bad at self-promotion.
People in Panama protesting.
Thank you guys.
I just want to point out that Trump's aggressive ass posturing and threats that undermine all of our closest relationships isn't just bad for business, even beyond business. It's a direct hit to the regional stability and the cooperation that has brought us this far, that has allowed us to be such a leader on the global stage. And it's a direct hit to critical issues like immigration, security. He pulls us out of the Paris Climate Accord. That hurts climate change long term. So no matter what Trump thinks he's doing, whether he actually wants to militarily invade Canada or he just thinks he's gaining leverage in some sick, twisted way, either way, it's isolating America from the very allies that have stood by us through thick and thin. And this short-sighted approach risks unraveling decades of diplomatic progress, but Trump doesn't care about that. They want the U.S. to be more isolated and more vulnerable on the global stage, even if it means alienating some of the people that have been with us since day one. Canada is a strong ally. Denmark and Greenland, they are strong allies to the U.S., and of course, Panama is as well. So let's break down this video. And this article says, Panama protests erupt as Rubio arrives mid-canal dispute. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio
just don't burn down your own
Panama,
shit, guys.
And this happens.
Remember, don't burn down your own shit. I need a translator. This lady's probably spitting hot fire and I can't understand it. Come on, Adam. I know you're bilingual. Come on, buddy.
They have Trump's face on this.
It's his fucking presidential portrait. Well, thank you for the 66 likes, guys. And the $2 is still... Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! Damn, son!
I mean, I want to pose the question, how many countries did this for President Biden?
Yeah, you don't see a lot of Biden dolls getting blown up, bro. Biden, who had fucking some of the most controversial foreign fucking affairs, even he wasn't... Well, I'm sure there's probably some shit going on in Palestine or whatever, Gaza. Holy shit, dude. That is crazy. They straight blew up his dummy with firecrackers. If I was Donald Trump, I would not be going to fucking Panama anytime soon, dog.
For Secretary of State Blinken.
Translation, get the fuck out.
Good call, Talia. He's a normal person who has a steady hand, but this reads... Panamanian police on Friday fired tear gas and clashed with protesters angered by Donald Trump's threat to take control of the Panama Canal ahead of a visit this weekend by the U.S.'s top diplomat, Marco Rubio. The demonstrators, who included university students and teachers, burned an effigy and photos of Trump, who accuses China of unfair influence over the Panama Canal. The protesters, quote, categorically reject the United States' attempts to turn Panama into a protectorate in colony again, said teachers union leader Diogenes Sanchez. Quote, we are going to fight to defend our national sovereignty, he added. Earlier, another group of protesters burned tires before they were dispersed by riot police. The unrest came on the eve of a visit by Rubio to the Central American nation, part of his first trip abroad in the post. Trump, in his inaugural address on January 20th, alleged that China was effectively operating the waterway, which the United States handed to Panama in 1999. You know, I'll leave it there. Later today, I want to do a live stream after Trump imposes his tariffs. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you.
Dope. Good job, Adam. I am watching the end of it. I just watched the end of it. Look, Mike. I think you're maybe a few seconds behind. They did this to us, man. Yeah, he got rude bumper stickers. Yeah, exactly. He did get a lot of rude bumper stickers. Dude, I saw... We should watch this video sometime. There's this video about the history of racism against African Americans. I think it's in, like, Michigan. And crazy enough, it was because there's this black gentleman that had he had started collecting different like slavery era souvenirs, I guess. I'm like, what words do I use for this? Slavery era relics. God, souvenirs, that's a bad word. Jesus Christ. And somebody found out about that, and then people just all across the country started sending him all of these, historical relics. And so he donated them to a university. I think it's in Michigan, but I could be wrong about that. And there's like different eras, right? Sadly fucking enough. God, sometimes I hate people. Sadly enough, there is all these eras of racism against black people to go through, of like Jim Crow and the fucking civil rights movement and like, slavery. And so you go room to room through these different rooms that are just fucking tragic to even know happened, period, to anyone. It's fucking tragic. But probably the most, because obviously I grew up with fucking skinheads and Peckerwoods and Featherwoods and fucking 88 and all that shit. I grew up with all these racist pieces of shit. So I'm aware of all that stuff. But the thing that surprised me, that was the craziest thing that I saw out of this video, was the room of Obama-specific racist, like, bumper stickers, ones with Obama and a noose. There was like a racist board game against Obama. It was like they had enough shit that was racist specifically against Obama to fill a room. And these fucking people want you to believe that racism doesn't exist. They want you to believe that Black History Month doesn't need to exist. By the way, happy Black History Month. Fuck these people. That shit pisses me off. Like, it really fucking makes me mad. Like people talk about punching Nazis in the face. I punch people in the face that has swastikas on their body. Like, fucking for real. Like, it was a whole room filled with Obama-centric, racist shit. So crazy. So fucking crazy. Yeah, memorabilia. I don't want to say memorabilia, dude. I don't want to say memorabilia. What's that in Janelle? No, don't want to say memorabilia. Don't want to say souvenirs. Those are both fucking, I think, terrible words for that. I don't know. They both just sound so bad. Yeah. So, the Great White, Jesus Christ, golf. Like, I played football in the ghetto against dudes that had American History X shit, like full on fucking swastikas from here to here. Used to play against this dude Bear. He's a big fucking skinhead. I come from the home of the Nazi lowriders. Like, that wasn't the one that you watched? Oh, okay. Sorry, dude. Yeah, that's why Michelle said when they go low, because people were so cruel to them. Yeah, and that's also why Michelle will never run, because she doesn't want to fucking deal with that shit ever again. But Michelle, we need you, dude. We need you, Michelle. Like, seriously need you. Jesus Christ. Anyways, don't mean to like end the show on a shitty note. Just like racism gets to me, dude. Like, I grew up with that shit and I fucking hate those people. There are a few people in this world that can trigger like such a gnarly fucking response from me. And when I first moved up here, where I live now is a like majority white society or culture, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I had such a hard time integrating into this culture. Yeah, I was a bit of a problem. I was a bit of a problem. So anyways, I'd like to end this by saying this, is that, like, I believe what I just said about, did I just call her dude? I call everybody dude. And also, by the way, a non-binary person told me that it was okay to call everybody dude. So, bam, fucking winning. This is what I think everybody that is here, if you're in my chat, I heard Benjamin Dixon say this on his show about people like going to X and being on X. I'm not going to tell you to go on X. That's Benjamin's thing. Fucking good on you, Benjamin, for doing it. You speak your truth. I'm going to speak mine. I'm going to say if you are on X, if you are on social media, if you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, like the most important thing that you can do right now is to create a divide between Trump and oligarchs. So if that means there's Trump supporters in the chat that you're in, then you need to be fucking just throwing it in their face that they're a bunch of cucks to billionaires. Just nothing but that. Don't argue with them over whether or not they're racist. Don't argue with them over whether or not tariffs, they know what a tariff is. Get away from all that shit and just drive a fucking wedge between the billionaires and Donald Trump. Because, like I said, we can survive 4 years of dipshittery. It's going to be bad. It ain't going to be pretty. We can survive 4 years of that shit. But if these billionaires come out of this 4 years with the ability to influence the next election the way that they influenced this election, we're going to be in big fucking trouble. You know, so I think that anybody that watches my show, I know I don't have a lot of reach. I'm not a big voice. But we may be small, but we are fucking mighty. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can do things, and you got to, like, get that through your head that you can. You got to get it through your head that you can make a difference. We only got 40 people right now, but those 40 people can go and affect 40 people. Now you got 80. Those 80 people can go and affect 80 people. Now you're 160. It was 160. They can affect another 100. That's 320, 640, 1280, 2560, 5,120, 10,240. You know what I'm saying? It's exponential. It's exponential. So I think that people really should focus on talking about techno-libertarianism, talk about the division that's being created in the wealth gap, and continue to press for a divide between Donald Trump and these oligarchs, because they will eat each other. And that is like the best outcome for America. It ain't going to be pretty, but we need these oligarchs and we need Donald Trump to fight each other and eat each other and destroy each other. Anyways. Yeah, Japan survived. Germany survived. It's true. It's true. All right, guys. Well, I do appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't watched my clickbait-ass video, go watch my clickbait-ass video that says, did Vivek get deported? All right? It's funny. It was created to be clickbait on purpose. It's supposed to be funny. So if you're looking for a good laugh, go check out my Did Vivek Get Deported video. It's pretty funny. I'm biased. But it's on my channel. Check it out. It's got like 5,000 or 6,000 views. It's actually doing okay. So I appreciate you guys that watched it. If you want to join the Angry Ginger Army, if you didn't get gifted a membership by the fucking cool ass people in my chat, Bandit and Fan, you can always join the Angry Ginger Army. It's only $3 a month. It's 10 cents a day, less than $3, or I'm sorry. Yeah. $3 a month, less than 10 cents a day. I'm so tired. And it's better than Netflix. It's cheaper than Netflix. It's better than Netflix. It's more entertaining. If you can't support my channel financially, completely understand that shit. Appreciate you anyways. Doesn't matter. You're here. You're doing the goddamn thing. So if you can't, I do hope that you will go and like and watch my videos and comment on them and share them with your friends. And that's the best way to support my channel in a non-financial manner. One day we might be big enough that I do this shit full time. We'll see. Right now I work all the time, every day, all the time. It's tiring. Anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And the next live stream is going to be Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. All right, guys. Love you guys.